out there in the land of YouTube. This is Thrifty, back with Thrifty PS Gamer Reviews. Actually, that's the intro to my videos. My bad. I'm back with Thrifty's Gaming News Podcast. Welcome to the playground, guys. Sorry for that. You know, the playground gets a little rowdy. I'm starting off tonight's show wonderfully. This is the Thanksgiving show tonight. We have a lot to be thankful for in our gaming communities and in our lives. So there is going to be a portion of the show where we kind of talk about that, like what we're most thankful for in either gaming or in just like your life in general. Doesn't have to be super like deep or in thought or anything, but like just what we're most thankful for. It's that time of the year. Let's be thankful. And we will also be talking about the Xbox tax. What is it? Why is it? Where is it? When is Gamora? I mean, we're going to be talking about the Xbox tax tonight. Then, after that, we're going to be discussing PlayStation, its woes, its perceived, possible, potential, legal troubles. We'll be going over that. And then after that, we'll be discussing some of the wins, some of the financial stuff. What is up, Michael Morad? What's up, Michael? There we go. And so we will be discussing some PlayStation victories as well, because doom and gloom, I want to end the show kind of on positive notes. We will also be discussing a certain game called State of Decay 3. It's supposedly coming out soon, never, sometime, maybe. Anyways, it won't be nominated for Game of the Year because of the Xbox tax, but it will be a game that Xbox could someday release. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Will is already here. The two special guests for the night, Salty and Jez, will be coming a little later. Salty yesterday told me that he might be a little late, and then Jez texted me, "What's up, hero?" Jez messaged me and let me know that he was running a couple minutes behind because you have to work in real life. This is not real life. This is all a simulation, but once we get off of this, then we have to go back to real life. It's 1:48 p.m. in Sydney. Oh, hey, nice. So Salty has shown signs of life. I know, dude. He posted to Twitter for the first time in a hot minute today. And so, anyways, let's get started. Will, how in the actual hell are you, sir?
I'm good, Thrifty. What's up, chat? I'm doing great, man. There's a lot of things I'm thankful for this year.
What you been
A
playing?
lot. Oh man. Well, actually, right now, literally right now, I'm playing Remnant 2. I've been playing Remnant 2 the last few days with Henry, another member of the show, and we've been into the DLC that just came out last week, I believe it was. And I've been switching off between that and Alan Wake. So basically, whenever I'm solo, I play Alan Wake, and then when Henry's able to pop in, I switch over to Remnant 2. Great game, man. If anybody, once again, if you're in our Discord, you hear our conversations of Remnant 2 and how awesome it is. This is Souls games done right. This is it's just it's just a great game. They made it accessible. They made it difficult. Um, and it's just a great game, man. I recommend anybody who is even has a small percentage of interest in the game to play it. Play it, man. I think there's a couple sales going on it right now, so great
Now,
time
I
to get
have a
into it.
question. I have a question. Because I need to know this for my own personal sanity. Because don't you hate Souls-like games?
I hate them with a passion.
Okay. So what is it? This is actually a good kind of filler segment. What is it about Remnant 2 that makes you think? And I even know that Ryan in the Discord was like, yeah, Thrifty would really enjoy it. Like, okay, but isn't it hard as hell? What's up, Cosmic? What's up, Hero? What's up, Ryan? What's going on, everybody in the chat? I need to make sure I didn't miss anybody because I am terrible. Nick, how are you? Cosmic, Ryan, Nick, Michael. Okay, cool. We're here. We're all here. Awesome. But so what is it? I gotta know because I wanted to ask you in the Discord today, but it was a crazy day at work, so I didn't really get to do much Discording. What you got?
So the thing that, and there's a couple of Souls-like games that are like what I'm about to say next. Is the thing that makes Remnant 2 different. First thing is there's actually you can select difficulty. So it's not like a Souls game where the developers create a difficulty and that's what you get. So it doesn't matter your how good you are, you can make adjustments. So that's number one. And even if you select the easiest mode, it still has a challenge. So if your skill level is I don't know, I want to say amateur but beginner, the beginner skill level, it's still a challenge for a beginner. So that's the first thing. There's three or four different. I think there's three. Maybe a fourth one if you beat the game at the hardest level. But you can select your difficulty level. So that's first thing. But once again, just because you're able to select your difficulty level, it's not like your typical easy, medium, hard in a regular game. It's challenging for easy. It's challenging for medium. It's challenging for hard. Where,
Pause.
for example, if you play, I don't know, God of War, and you select easy, then you're basically playing the game for story only. You know, where there is a little bit of challenge, but you're probably never gonna die. You know, unless you're really complacent. Not in this game. So that's the first thing. The second thing that is very different with Remnant 2 and Souls game is in a typical Souls game, you have to in a boss fight, you fight them numerous amount of times. And basically you're learning all the maneuvers, you're learning, the timing, and then once you get adequate at, all these things, then you have a much better chance at beating them. Remnant is similar, but the key difference between a Souls game like Elden Ring or any of their games is that it's not hard just to be hard. Meaning, I was playing Elden Ring,
Pause again.
and and I remember fighting with one of the bosses, and I had about 5% life left. Right, so one more hit, and I would have been dead. It felt like at times the boss would get that hit in just to kill me. Like it didn't feel fair, it didn't feel logical. It wasn't where I was like, oh man, I messed up here. I need to do things a little bit differently and get better. No, it felt very unfair. It didn't feel like I was in control of the game. It felt more like the game was in control of me,
Were you
and it was
screaming at the
decide.
TV? Were you screaming at the TV, or were you
No, as
telling
soon
your
as I get
son, the
nope,
game's cheating?
as soon as I get to that point, I turn it off. Hence why I only got 30 minutes in Elden Ring and I never touched that shit again. It's a waste of time. I'm not gonna get angry. I'm supposed to be having fun. And I get the payoff that people get. Oh, this bot killed me 150 times, but on the 151st time, I finally did it. I don't have that time, dude. I work a full-time job. I'm a dad. There's 100 games coming out that are gaudy quality games. Like I want to enjoy as much as I can. Like when these games come out every 5, 6, 7 years, like I'm gonna die eventually. You know what I'm saying? So let me enjoy my games. So that's what separates Remnant 2 from the other Souls games is that the difficulty is a fair difficulty. It's not easy just for the sake of being easy, but it's also not hard for the sake of being hard. Also, it's a shooter, and it's a very well made shooter. A couple weeks ago, or you guys have heard me say this before, where I don't mind spending $70 for Call of Duty because there's no other game that has got the polish and the finish that a Call of Duty game does or has. So I don't mind spending the money for the 8 hour campaign that it normally comes with because it's a quality game. Whether the story sucks or whatever, that's secondhand to me. It's just the quality. It feels good. It's satisfying. Same thing with Remnant 2. The shooting is up there with the AAA games. There's plenty of options for you. The guns feel good. It's a great feeling game, and also the game is just gorgeous. So that's why I really enjoy Remnant 2. That's why I recommend it for everybody. If I was a Elden Ring fan, I would not recommend it to everybody. Yeah, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but Remnant is one of those games that it is everybody's cup of tea, mainly because you can select your difficulty, and whatever difficulty you select, it's challenging for you. So if you're a beginner, it's challenging for a beginner. If you're a veteran, it's challenging for a veteran. Sorry, I kind of went on a circle there in conversation, but I just want
Bro,
to
you
make
must have
sure that
not
the
ever
point.
heard me talk about Final Fantasy VII
Oh, I've
on
heard you.
Salty's
But
podcast.
it's different when you hear it from somebody else, and then when you're the one talking, it's like you're more self-conscious about it because you're the one talking. So I'm just like, fuck, you're talking too much, Will. But I just want to make sure, I'm a big fan of this game for those reasons. I mean, when it first came out, I put in 100 hours, and it didn't feel like it. It's rare the game that makes me feel like that. And then the DLC came out, very affordable, $10, and it has great content. And this game does what Starfield tried to do, and it does it very, very well, is procedural generation. Or is that what it's called? Procedural uh,
Procedural generation, yeah, you have it.
generation of the. So there's 4 worlds, 4 or 5, but each person has a different experience because the worlds are all different. Now they all have the same vibe and same art style and similar bosses, but everything is rearranged completely different. The way that you get to things are completely changed. So it feels like you're in a whole new thing. So a game that only has 4 or 5 worlds can feel like it's got hundreds and thousands of worlds because of this procedural generation system they have in place, and it makes it like I said. I got 100 and some hours in it now, and the game brand new costs $50.
Fun fact,
It's just amazing.
we'll actually get in. This is kind of off topic, but we will get into the main topic of the show tonight. This is just where we talk about gaming, kind of what we're playing, what we're liking right now. Um, I actually just started Dragon's Dogma, but what I was going to say about procedural generation was that the one of my favorite games ever is Diablo 1. Just the original Diablo. And it was crazy because all
Oh,
you
so
were
it's not Diablo 4?
I haven't played it yet. You have Diablo
Inside
1
joke.
where you're just at Tristram. That's it. It is you have a witch that you can buy stuff from. You have an innkeeper you can talk to, a barmaid named Jillian who you can also talk to.
Sorry,
Uh,
Thrifty. I don't mean to cut you off. All those things you're mentioning are also in Remnant 2.
right, right,
All those
right, right, right,
things.
right.
Hmm.
And so like then you have a healer who you can buy health potions from, and then you have a blacksmith. Okay, and that's it. But your whole main job is to go into this old church and go down through the labyrinth, through the catacombs, down into hell. I've done this. Actually, catacombs, caves, hell. Anyways, I've done this a few times. And every freaking time, it creates a different set of 16 levels. And so, like, as soon as you hit new game, it it hits like 16 levels load into the game, and that's your set of levels as you go through. And so like you won't get certain quests that you would have gotten playing a different playthrough, and every time is different. I've beat that game with 2 characters, and I've beat it multiple times with both of them, and every single time the quest lines are a little different. So anyways, I like procedural generation in certain games, and games like that where you can load into something and it's different every time. I think that's what kind of made Outriders go stale, was because it was the same maps over and over and over and over again. It never changed. So like with Remnant 2, if you're changing that, that's actually really good. That's actually something that I can appreciate. What Speaking of appreciation, going over into
And
Dragon's
real quick
Dogma.
before we pass that, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, going into Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. That's just what I'm playing right now, and the cutscenes are absolutely phenomenal. Um, the graphics are going to be hard for me to actually play the game with. It
That's why I
feels
stopped
great.
playing it.
It feels awesome. Like it's really responsive. The combat is actually kind of fun. The camera's a little wonky, but all cameras from 12 years or 10 years ago were a little wonky. So, like that's okay, but the character models they almost looked like they used watercolor on clay on the faces. It's really hard for me to deal with them in cutscenes. But like the dragon at the very beginning, this is how far I've gotten, was absolutely stellar. Like that whole thing where he like comes down and like rips your heart out through your chest and then like just looks at it and says some stuff. And that's where I'm at. I woke up and my chest was healed. I touched my chest and it's talking to me. So like that's where I'm at in it, and I'm gonna keep playing it and giving it a chance because this thing has been on my gaming list for a while, and it just came out on PlayStation Extra, so I'm going to try it. This is why remakes and remasters are good. I agree, not for $70 and not for games that are 3 years old. But, anyways, PlayStation's
And I
doing
want
it for
to
10. So, anyways,
Nelson needs an invite, Thrifty. And I also want to give a shout out to Henry. Um, what's his Henry
Henry
Heck.
Heck.
I've been playing with him the last couple days. RPG 88. Is he here tonight? I don't think I've seen
He's
him.
not in yet. He's
Oh,
probably
he's not in.
sleeping.
So RPG 88 also just got the game recently. Next week he's got off, so I'm hoping I'm hope we talked on the Discord. Which, by the way, guys, follow us on the Discord. We are, man, it's one of the best Discords channels I ever been in ever, man. I
It's
mean,
really
it's
super active. We only have like
active.
20 people in there right now, and it's very, very active.
So yeah, so shout out to the Josh. He's one of the ones that are active. Warwana, was it Quiet Doom, RPG 88. I mean, there's a few of us that are constantly on there. Nelson with the memes. I mean, it's a very active channel, guys. We're constantly talking about gaming, what we like. I mean, we're building a pretty solid community, and there's nothing better than having even more people join. Share some of those games that you guys are playing because that's the thing that I actually like talking about the most in the podcast. Like, yeah, talking about the news, which we're gonna get into, and some of the shit that's going around the industry is fun, but I really love talking about games. I mean, RPG 88, like I said, is getting the game or got the game. He's beat two of the worlds already. He's gonna have off next week, so I'll be teaming up with him to play that game. Hopefully, Henry is also gonna hop in with us there. So, guys, come on through, man. We love talking about games. It's a great way or great channel to do so, and also to link up with each other. Before this year, guys, I was a single player gamer, which I still am, but I didn't touch any multiplayer games at all. And the last 6, 7 months, I've been doing so, and it's been awesome for my gaming because obviously I'm playing more games, different games. I'm chatting it up with you guys, learning new stuff, learning about new games that I never even would have considered. But because I appreciate your guys' opinions and what you guys are gaming on, it's another opportunity for me to get into something I didn't know was before. So I just want to say that real quick.
Yeah, that is communities in the Discord is generally speaking, if you're trying to get involved in like a game that's mostly multiplayer or whatnot, most of our people in the Discord have played it and can easily jump back in and help you on stuff. And like Nelson does, you and I've played together. Um, Octo or shoot, crap, what's his name? I can't think of it now, but he's come in. He has a different name on the PlayStation than he does like everywhere else. Newtonian, uh, Otacon Ocelot. There we go. He comes on. Anyways, we have a really, really good setup on there. I'm being boxed and left on the. Shut up, Nelson. It takes Will and I 3 hours to sometimes to get through a show. I'm already gonna have two other people on here, and I have Will that likes to rant, and Jez is gonna be on here who likes to rant. So we might be here for 5 hours already. Like I can't have another person that likes to rant on here tonight. It's just it can't happen. Then I mean that's crazy. Tell you what, if if you're off next week, you're on the show. I've always said that. If I don't have a guest and you want to come on, it's open. Okay, maybe Easter. Nelson Gaming 12 has risen. Oh, I'm probably going to get a little bit of heat for that one. But anyways, let's continue. So let's start off with one of the light and easy topics for tonight. And it's a topic very, very near and dear to my heart. It's actually one of the things I'm thankful for. PlayStation in some regions is outselling Xbox 7-1. I'm sorry. Let me read that properly. At least 7-1 in many markets. Latest
make that clear,
figures show.
It's not that PlayStation is outselling Xbox in some regions. No, PlayStation is outselling Xbox in all regions. But Thrifty is saying 7-1 in some regions, but in all regions, PlayStation is outselling Xbox. That's just my editor's cut there.
Editor's cut? All right, so let's listen to this. Read this. It's from PSU.com, so probably slanted just a bit. Okay? But this is going over sales data, so you can't really slant sales data that well. Player engagement you can slant, but not sales data. Okay, so the latest GSD data revealed that the PS5 is continuing to dominate hardware sales in Europe, with SAES of Sony's current generation machine up 143% for October year-on-year due to the increased availability of stock. Furthermore, it also appears to be outpacing Microsoft's competing Xbox Series X and S by a considerable margin in select regions. This time last year, the PS5 was still fairly difficult to get a hold of, an issue that plagued the PS5 since its launch in November 2020. We already know all that shit. Let's keep going. The Xbox Series S, meanwhile, appears to be struggling in Europe with the sales down. Get this. Sales down a whopping 52% in sales compared to the same period last year. And last year's sales weren't that good either. They were still getting dog-walked by PlayStation. Furthermore, it appears that Sony's console is outselling its main rival by as much as 7-1 in many markets. October 2023 saw a total of 481,000 consoles sold across tracked markets in Europe. That's just Europe, with PS5 sales up 11% over September. Sony launched a new version of the PS5 this month with the shape of the which comes in digital and disc models, although with the latter, users will be able to purchase and attach a Blu-ray hard drive because we actually care about physical media. So, like, that's very telling. 7-1. Like, I remember at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, cool, PlayStation's outselling Xbox 2-1. That's cool. And then, like, a little bit through the year, it went to 2.5-1. Then it went to 3-1. Then it went to 4-1 in August, I believe. It went to 4-1. And now we are sitting at 7-1 in some regions. Are you freaking kidding me? 7-1. And now, mind you, we can count almost a 1-to-1 ratio of people who have an Xbox also have a PS5. Like, so we know it. So Warawana, what they actually say in there is they start off by saying in many markets, then they, in the article, they say in some regions, and then they go back again and say many markets. So they're kind of talking out both sides of their mouth a little bit, it sounds like. But we know for a fact they're beating them in some markets by 7-1. That's still insane. Like, when you look at 480,000 units sold in 1 month in the UK is not that big. Like, comparatively speaking to places like, you know, the United States, where we have Texas and California, which I think you can put them together and you get a land space bigger than the UK, I think.
Oh, you get more than that. No, it's more than that. Texas and California alone is like half of Europe.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. So, like, Byron just said it's 9-1 in
France.
France
is probably the biggest country in Europe.
Gosh, that's nuts. 9-1. So here's part of the thing that I have, and this is going to kind of feed in.
Just to tell these guys and just give them a little perspective. When an American says, "Oh, the drive is only an hour long," that ain't bad. We say that because of our landmass being so big. Now, if you live somewhere like the UK and you're like, "Holy shit, mate, an hour? You crossed 3 countries." No, we're not doing that. That's the difference. You know, like Thrifty is about 8 hour drive from me. Most of you guys would say that's crazy. To me, that's like, oh, I can get there and back in a day. That's not that bad. So just to give you some perspective on how Americans think about travel versus how maybe other people like in Europe would think about travel.
Bro, you can kiss my rear end. I hate it. I do not. My work is 10 minutes from my house. Uh, I lived in Texas again for 9 months. My wife and I moved back there for a little bit, and they had that freaking mentality of like, no, we can go ahead and just. Dallas is only an hour away. That's not that bad of a drive. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, I got a buddy who drives to Fort Worth. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Like, stop that. That's not hard. 2 hours away from your house, Josh, I'd quit. I
Isn't
just
Josh in
would.
Australia?
Yeah. Well, they have a
Dude, it's
large
summertime for them down there.
summertime. No, no. Okay, I won't do that. Yeah,
Damn. I
that's not.
work 3 minutes away from my house, dude. I literally my job start. I gotta be there at 7. I wake up at 7:45. I don't, but just to give you an example how fast I can get there. But yeah, no, I fuck this long distance traveling. That shit sucks ass.
So like back to the thing. 7-1 is nuts in my opinion, and it's crazy when you start thinking about it because it's this plays into my thought that Xbox is closer to being a third party publisher full time than they are to being a viable console competitor for Sony. Will,
Yes.
what are your thoughts, man? I've talked a lot on this. What's your topic? What you think?
Well, if anybody from the upper management of Xbox is listening to this, which they really should, honestly, they really should, because this is a platform for the gamer, from the gamer. But I'll take you back to that interview Phil Spencer did, defending, well, not defending, but basically owning up to the mistakes of Redfall. And that's in, what's that podcast called? That's Funny podcast, I think it is, where he said that it's not like if they create a banger of a game and all of a sudden they're gonna outsell, PlayStation or Nintendo, and how they can't out console PlayStation and Nintendo. And it all comes down to the very simple task of making a game, right? We all know this as gamers. We go where the games are. So if all of a sudden the Twilight Zone happened and Xbox started making high quality games, I would buy a Series X today and I would play those damn games
Don't do
because
that.
those would be
Don't
games.
do that. Buy the Series S. Teardown runs better on the Series S than it does on the
Well,
Series X.
my son has a Series X. That's the reason I said Series X
Oh, I
because,
got you.
but Teardown is also available on PlayStation Plus, which I have, and on Xbox you got to pay $30 for it. But that's besides the point. But the advice that I want to give to Xbox is stop worrying. And I know it's difficult because they are your competitors, of course, and there is a market share. But in reality, you're so far behind, 7-1 behind, that you shouldn't be worrying about what PlayStation and Nintendo are doing. Just focus on yourself. It's not you, it's me. Start saying that. Like, focus on yourself. And what I mean by that is focus on creating games, focus on creating quality games, and let these games do the talking like PlayStation does. Now, PlayStation lets the games do the talking a little too much to the point that people are freaking out because Remedy is not Remedy. Uh, Returnal's, gaming director, which we'll get into in a little bit, of 14 years left, you have them freaking out because they're not getting enough information from PlayStation to know what's happening.
No, no,
But
no, 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 no,
Xbox,
no. Let's dive into that shit right now.
oh my goodness, we're
No, no,
still
no,
talking
no,
about the
no, no,
7 to
no,
1.
no, 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 no. Now
Don't
you done
do
said
this.
something.
Don't do this.
You've tried to make it to where it's not that big of a
Don't
deal,
do
and you're
this.
trying to
It's not.
downplay it.
It's not.
Listen, listen.
It's
Last
not.
week I was ready to take a bullet for this company because I was on the high of Spider-Man 2
It's
coming
not.
out, and as long as they release great games, I will be totally fine because I'm here for the games, not the CEOs. That's not a big deal. But if you're going to sit here and tell me all these people leaving, these studios getting
Okay,
closed,
don't say all
places,
these
listen, no,
people.
no, no, no. It's a trickle effect, dude. It's a
That
trickle effect.
Okay, a business in the business world, that the trickle effect is normal. It's
No,
not
no, no,
open
no,
and shut,
no, no, no. Listen,
pipes.
listen, Linda, listen.
Listen,
When
Linda.
you have a guy coming in, and let's read it. Actually, you know what? Jez just showed up. Jez, how the hell are you, man?
Hey, man, can you hear me?
I can.
Dude, so sorry, man. Holy crap. I was on my way home, and then, my wife actually, she don't play games that much, and she wanted to play Synth Riders, and, so she is now playing that, and, there's a
Nice.
very few nights, like, around the year where my wife's like, I want to play some games. I'm like, oh, damn. So tonight happened to be that night. It was just like she wanted to do some get the VR and synth riders on, and then I had to show my master skills. I worked up a sweat, so I got home on time. But then there you go. Sorry about that. And I was like, I got a podcast. I was like, and then she's like, where's the menu? I need to choose this song. And I'm like, don't choose master. Anyway, so I set her up. She's done, and now she's playing. So we're good.
Nice, nice, man, nice. Well, appreciate
Holy
you
crap.
making it on here. We actually just got done talking about the 7-to-1 thing with PlayStation.
Oh, the European
outselling.
sales?
Yeah, the European sales.
Dude, that's
Um,
crazy.
and then now, because of Will getting me started on this, I'll ask your thoughts. Do you think PlayStation's having problems?
What with the Housemark guy? Like him leaving?
So
Is that the
the
one?
Housemark
Well,
guy, the chick that supposedly left in March,
Booth? Connie?
yeah, Connie
Yeah,
Connie.
Connie.
Then you have not Jez, Jim
Oh yeah, I'm
Ryan.
leaving.
You got Jim Ryan heading out. You got the head of Housemark bouncing. You got
So nice.
108 people from Bungie getting cut. You have
Yeah.
studios getting closed this year. And every single time, I feel like a damn Xbot right now going, guys, it's only one
Nope.
person. It's only one
Nope.
person. It's fine.
Nope.
It's fine.
This
It's
is
only one
completely
person.
Well, the
different.
thing is like if you see these people show up somewhere else, like a new studio or at Microsoft or at Nintendo, and you see them moving around, then it's like, okay, well, they left for some other opportunity somewhere else. But people just leaving, like, I think in this year, out of all the years of all the turnover that's been happening, if this was just Sony and nobody else was affected by all these layoffs and things like that, I would say maybe there's definitely something to point at. There may be some transition going on. I think they're looking for probably the next phase of what PlayStation is in this changing market. So maybe getting some out with the old and some maybe new faces in there. But I can't. The thing is that if we're still getting the games, if we have a year like Xbox had last year, like a 20, like where there's no games and Sony just sort of like misses the ball, then we know that these things are affecting us. And until it really affects us, I really like the moving around of the industry, too much of people leaving and things like that. Unless a game gets delayed and the person leaves, it really doesn't do anything. The reason why people make such a big deal when it happens at Microsoft stuff because there's been such a lapse of time between the games and things that they've been releasing. So when there's no noise, and I think the same effect has happened in the Sony this year, where when they don't have that roadmap of saying what is Naughty Dog's next game, just say what it is and give what is it. Since that has not been confirmed, anything that Naughty Dog does, a remaster or this, a person leaves, we don't find any updates as to certain things. There's always this cause of like there's something going down, and
Facts.
until Sony really has that kind of show of saying that stuff like, hey, this is Housemarque's next game. Like at least there's some sort of blanket, but when we don't know what's going on with these studios and you see people leave and you see things happen, now the question marks come up going, oh, is there trouble over there? Jim Ryan leaving, again, I think that like if he was a problem, he would have been out before Christmas. Like I don't think they would have let him stay.
Nope.
They would have
until
pulled a
March, 'cause
Disney on his ass.
no, they'll pull. They would. I would say there's more suspect stuff to what happened with what's that other guy? The guy Sean Layden
Yes.
than
Yeah.
with Jim Ryan. Like Sean Layden, they threw his ass in a bunker and threw him some bread and friggin' water.
Yep.
Who knows where that
Not
guy
even
went?
blanket.
And know what's crazy? He never addressed it, and
Nope.
he never talks about it.
No, he doesn't
still has
ever
Sony.
say anything.
Nope. He still has Sony in his thing, like formerly Sony. So he never talked about what happened there, and what he just talked about his tenure there, and that was it. But that was even more worrisome if you look at how that was handled versus Jim Ryan, like kind of walking out into the thing. And again, look at how they're selling. Look how the platform is doing. Look at the games that they're releasing. There's been no dip of quality. There's been no dip of things. And Jim Ryan did his job. And I was trying to find my old saying when Jim Ryan came on. His job was to move the people from the PS4 to the PS5. That was his job. His job was to take all the people that they got here and move them to the 5. And look at the way it's moving on. He did his job. Like, that was it. So this whole service game and all this other stuff, they never said they're canceling these service games.
Nope.
They just said that they're delayed. So these 12 games are still in the roadmap, but they just kind of spread them out more, which makes sense because it sounded like they want to flood the market. And I wouldn't be surprised if they saw how service games are going, even the way the subscription model is being handled. Like, if you told me a year and a half ago about how the Game Pass and $70 games, there was a good argument there going, games are getting too expensive, people are just going to subscribe. Then look at what happened this year. Subscription fatigue across everything. Some music, movies, and everything. So is Jim Ryan wrong? Was he let go because of that? I just want to make sure that the quality doesn't drop, and because that's what we've seen. And I've said that's what happened when they put everything in a service, and they're not doing that. So that was never a concern for me from them. They weren't putting everything in a service. So is there trouble going on? Is there pivoting? I don't know. But until it affects us directly, like we get a year of no games, or Sony drops a Naughty Dog game that's like a 60. It's like, oh damn, this thing sucks. Who made this? Like, again, we can't really have concerns yet.
Yeah, and before, just to cap off, because I agree everything with Jess said, and I'm not gonna add basically anything to that. And thank you, Jess. You put that in a way that I wanted to say, but I get excited sometimes. But just to top off what Jess said, quoting here David Faulkner, which we all look up to because the man
David.
He knows business. I'm in business as well, but this guy, he's a professional, and he's responding to Nelson Gaming, where Nelson saying on Twitter a lot of fucking problems at PlayStation right now, Starfield, whatever. He's basically bitching about what we're talking about, and David says real simply, "I'm not seeing it. Looks just like any other global business undergoing restructure." That's it. We're not seeing a mass exodus like we've seen in other places. Not at all. We're not seeing the layoff numbers that we've seen in other places at all. And part of the reason is because PlayStation is so strong in the market that they can absorb some of these things that other companies will not do or cannot do. Now, another thing that I want to talk about before I pass it back to you, Thrifty, is the false market profit sharing that's going on in the business world. A trend started happening. Now, businesses have done this forever, but it's specifically been happening in the last 2 years. What's been happening with profit margins at the end of the fiscal year is that businesses are showing false profit bumps. The way they do this is they lay off a whole bunch of people, therefore their expenses go down while the profits stay roughly about the same or go even a little bit higher, and they're showing the investors an increase. Well, the increase isn't a natural increase, meaning that they're selling more product or their costs went organically down. It's because they're laying off people, and therefore they're rehiring half the workforce they let go previously, but at a much cheaper cost. So they'll keep that rotation going, and by the 10-year mark, on average, on year one, the people they hired will let go by year 10, and they're doing this process over and over again while cutting costs at the same exact time. So, and the way, how do we know this? Well, because companies, even though they're laying people off, they're still having record-breaking years. So how are they able to have record profit-breaking years if they're doing terrible? So bad that they got to lay people off.
Yeah,
and that's all I had.
And I would say, if you want to see something, you want to see concerning, is what's happening with Embrace It Group and the fact that they're just shutting down whole ass studios and things like that. Like that is a cause of concern.
Was it 900 employees?
900 employees, but they they're shutting down all these studios, like they like and the fact that they let go of Crystal Dynamics stuff, and then they're working on Tomb Raider and Perfect Dark, and then also what they did to the Time Splitters, a Free Radical. Maybe they heard that they're gone, and then what they did to Volition, who made Saints Row. Like they just shutted down these studios that they bought them all. They didn't even get to flex a game with a couple of them.
No, and when Embracer Group purchased all of those IPs and those studios from Square, the first or second post that they made, because it was right during the Cyberpunk debacle that was going on when they were still trying to fix the game, and they made the comment that they were going to do Deus Ex to show us what a Cyberpunk game should look like. And I'm like, I love freaking Deus Ex. I love that series. It's so good. Mankind Divided is one of my favorite, or I'm sorry, Human Revolution is one of my favorite games. I want a third because they did us dirty in the second one. I need a third. But, so, when we start talking about, is PlayStation in trouble, I have a whole nother topic here that kind of feeds into this, and it's the lawsuit, right? So we get to put our lawyer hats on again, which none of us are.
Oh, no. Grindhouse law.
Dude, that's not even a topic. If you read the article, you're like, are you serious? Are they going to go after Apple?
I retired after
Xbox,
the FTC.
Nintendo, fucking...
But Steam.
Everybody that takes 30% from everybody,
Steam takes no
every
money.
platform on the planet.
So...
Why is it PlayStation?
Because they're most
for
popular.
Apple, they got more money.
It's because they are the market leader.
In gaming, yeah. Well, I'm surprised they didn't go. Well, no, but this is similar to what happened with Google and the Apple Store and Google with Epic. Isn't this like part of the Epic thing too?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Would you think they would have learned their lesson because they kicked their ass off the fucking Apple Store for a while? It cost them a lot of money.
But look at what happened, and this is what I think is going to happen. One, I think most UK gamers are going to get like a $50 gift card to the PlayStation Network. I think they're going to do something like that in the deal. Then the other thing that
swift kick in the ass.
Then the other thing I think they're going to do is, if this goes the way of the Apple and Google stuff, where hey, you can't have an exclusive market here, you have to allow other things on there, or at least give a separate way to purchase your games digitally.
That's not even what they're arguing. They're just arguing that the 30% cut is too high, which it's been that for
years,
forever.
And that's I wonder
years.
What Sony, what Nintendo's is.
Well, do you remember Microsoft dropped their cut because nobody wanted to develop for the Windows Store?
For Call of Duty, because they said they weren't going to make their shit no more.
Remember the Windows Store? They dropped their cut with the Windows Store because no developer wanted to go in there. But that's the problem.
No,
it's like if you don't. Well, that's the thing. If you don't have the traffic there, then that's what you're paying for. You're paying for those eyes. They're paying for Apple to put your game on the front page of their app, which means billions of people are going to see it. That's the service you're paying for, the hosting and all that other stuff. That's why they take a cut, because they know if that's where all the foot traffic is, dude, you're paying for that. That's why you go pay for Gordon Ramsay steak. Well, Gordon Ramsay's that's his recipe, You're paying the premium. Steak's a steak. But he made it,
But he made it, right?
PlayStation makes like $25 billion a year,
recipe.
and they make like $2 billion profit, which means they spent $23 billion.
But
you think they just let you
go get a hamburger at Gordon Ramsay restaurant.
You can just fucking you can just.
You're telling me it's $30? What's the difference between that hamburger and McDonald's hamburger?
Well,
it's still
and that
a hamburger.
You can look at two games that came out really close to each other, with Callisto Protocol that had the recipe, and then Dead Space Remake that actually is the developer of the recipe, and they were totally separate games, even though one tried to copy the other.
Callisto. Oh my god, I don't know who made that thing up with the left stick and right. I'm like, who made that analog fighting? That was ridiculous.
So, Will, what do you think on this? The $5 billion pounds. $5 billion pounds. Jesus, I'm a stupid American. The £5 billion lawsuit over in the UK translates to about $6.34 billion of our money. And it's basically the guy wants, and I quote, they failed to... No, I'm sorry, next one. flawed from start to finish. The quote was that, like, I want the consumer to get what is owed to them. And, like, I don't know. I've never had to buy. So, anyways, Will, before I go off again, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Well, I mean, look, let's not forget, guys. Europe has, here in America, we're very cutthroat in the business world. We're very, hey, your business sucks, dude. Do better, compete, and maybe I'll buy from you. Where in Europe, it's not quite like that. So we see it as, okay, dude, you're over here, doing this for that, but we don't see a big deal. For them, it is. I don't give a shit, dude. It doesn't affect me. The only thing that I care about is, like, part of the lawsuit here. I want the flexibility to be able to buy my digital games wherever I can, wherever I want. And the reason I want that is let these companies compete on my business. If somebody wants to lose $5 per game just to earn my business, let them do that. But PlayStation does have a lock on their digital games. There's nothing anybody can do about it. And I hope that this will, first off,
That's not even the documents, though. That's not even
understand that.
They would actually have a case that.
I know that, but this is what I'm saying. I don't give a shit about that whole what's happening over there. What I care about is for me. I'm a selfish gamer. I'm not getting anything out of this. What I want to see is the gaming industry needs complete reform, in my opinion, especially on the sale and purchases and the licenses of these games and how we're able to buy them. I think there needs to be something more consumer friendly on our end because, like we mentioned in previous podcasts before, if the license on these digital games goes kaput, we lose out. If PlayStation, Microsoft, or Nintendo decide to ban our accounts for whatever reason because we said something they didn't like, we lose out on hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of video games that we've spent into these accounts. And that's what we need protection from. I don't care that PlayStation is making or charging developers 30% more or whatever the hell the lawsuit says. That I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. The things that I mentioned before is what matters to me.
So, do you think? So, what's real funny is Sony's lawyer is sitting there saying these guys don't have a case from start to finish. They can't prove anything, but up to this point, they haven't had to. And so, like, now that they're going to trial, they will do a submission of findings. This is all from the article, guys. I don't know this. I don't know what all of this entails. This is strictly from the article that I was reading. They have to do a report of findings. So now we're about to see if this dude is full of shit or not. What we also might see is if Sony has come out and like if they've raised it to know some games are 40% now, some games are 35%, blah blah blah, then I think you might have maybe something there if everybody else is doing 30 but the market leader is trying to tighten the screws a bit. Like maybe you have a little bit of something there, but at the same time I would be baffled if Apple didn't look at Epic Games and go, hey guys, we'd like to charge you a little bit more. Or the opposite, we're going to make you a better deal because we know that your game is going to sell more microtransactions and we can make more in the long run. Like, there's always deals going on in the business world.
One last thing I forgot to mention that pertains to a little bit of this, but in Japan, developers are having the best ever financially. They are doing record numbers. They're doing so good that on average, the developer in Japan is making an extra 15% on their salary than they were before. Why is it in America they're talking about how they're hurting, but yet they're also seeing record profits? I just wanted to ask that question to show you the difference in how business is handled here versus over there. Now, I understand that SIE, it's basically an American company that's out of Japan, but just think about that question real quick because they're both in the gaming industry, even though the Western part of the world is the biggest market. They're seeing record profits where these CEOs are making $20-30 million bonuses, yearly. But why is it that in Japan, where they're not having these issues, why is it that in Japan, developers are getting a 15% increase to their salary without asking for it? This is Sega just did this most recently where they say, you know what, We're going to give everybody, Oprah, you get a car, you get 50%, you get 50%. Or in America, we're having a pizza party. Happy Thanksgiving, guys, and here's your $25 turkey gift card. We'll see you back for your 60-hour work week. Oh, and the next year and a half, we're going to crunch because we got to get this, mediocre-ass game out with 30 frames, out to the market.
So,
Well, I've
anybody...
made stuff for Japanese companies and American products. It's close enough, and once it passes inspection, it's good to go. The Japanese are fucking anal as shit. Like, if it's even close to being out of tolerance, you just throw it away. If it's a little out of tolerance for American, it's good enough.
Hey, listen, with the stuff I work for, I've seen the close enough for government work line fits wonderfully with HVAC technicians. I promise you. So, anybody else got anything else to say on this topic?
Nah, I'm sick of the law.
Sick of the law. All right.
Nobody cares about that.
After the goddamn FTC, CMA, ABCs.
The alphabet community. I'm out.
Goddamn Phil Ness in court. I'm done. I can't stand court documents. We need to move on from all
I
this
am the mom.
lawyer
Right
bullshit.
now.
All right, let's talk about some good stuff then. This is from Insider Gaming. PS5 sales continue to soar for Sony. The PlayStation 5 continues to be a sales success for Sony in the span of 3 years into its lifespan. Not only is it the best-selling console in both units sold and dollars sales for October 2023, but it continues to be the second best-selling console in Sony's history, only behind the PS2. When looking at year-over-year sales, yes, it is. Through a console's first 36 months on the market in the United States, PS5 sits only behind the PS2 unit in sales, which means it beats it in dollar amount, which makes sense. Matt Piscatella, the executive director and video game industry analyst at Circana, formerly NPD, posted the sales rankings to Twitter. And that is what was going around a couple days ago. After 36 months on the market, U.S. hardware unit sales ranked by ecosystem, PlayStation Performance, blah, blah, blah. Despite the console launching during COVID and the pandemic and not being able to be found, it sits just under 45 million sold. Not shipped, sold. Done. In the client's hands. It's a done deal. The ink is signed. It is finished. It's not the stuff that they've sold to retailers. It is what has sold to market. Usually when they talk about what's sold to retailers, that's what has shipped. And then in terms of overall sales, already read that. While it's still well behind the lifetime numbers of the PS2 of 158.7 million, which is absolutely knuckin' futz, there's a good chance that the console gets close to what the PS2 was able to do by the time the PS6 comes around. So, is Sony burning? Maybe, possibly, but right now they
cooking?
You mean cooking, right?
You mean cooking, not burning. You mean, are they cooking? Yeah, they're cooking.
7-1,
There's a
9-1
fire,
in France.
It's raw.
Yeah, chef's fire.
It's not raw at our house. We're
wood burning
cooking.
stone. Dude, they're cooking. There is a fire.
There's 45 million units at 15 million a year. That's crazy, and most of those have come from this year. I'd venture to guess a lot of that. Do any of y'all know what the numbers are for this year?
You can actually go out and buy one. Fucking imagine that. It sells when you can buy it.
Right.
Do y'all know what the numbers are for this year?
It's like 22 or something, or 21.
It's 22 million.
Yeah, they'd be at like 70 if they didn't have supply issues. They'd be at
If
like
there
70
was,
by now.
dude, people would have taken that COVID Joe money and gone and grabbed one of these damn things if they could have during that time. Like, every house in America would have had one of these. And so we're sitting at a time where the console's at almost 45 million in sales, probably crossed it by now with whatever new numbers aren't available to us, because it was right at the doorstep. And it's on pace to beat out the PS4, on pace to beat out the PS3, almost gonna get close in pace-wise to the PS2. Two-pad stack, that is Jez, that is. He has dude, you've had a cough that's lasted like 3 weeks, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. I know.
I'm watching your show
I
and
was-
listening to your show, and I'm like, damn, that cough is lasting forever, man.
It doesn't help that I like worked my ass off before I came to the show. I was like, oh man, I don't know, man. It comes on at night too. It's crazy. I gotta do my shows in the daytime. I get like
So-
this dry cough at night. It's crazy.
This feeds into what I was saying earlier before y'all got on with Will. Him and I were kind of spitting this back and forth. When do we think Xbox is going to become a full-on third-party publisher only?
Dude, I don't know, man.
They might have a cloud streaming box.
The thing,
I think they'll put a mobile chip in a box and sell it for like 150 or 200 or something.
the thing is like I can't imagine like those. Like, I know people say console sales don't matter, like to Xbox, like console doesn't matter, but my God, like when Phil Spencer said that they lost the
When
worst
you're
generation.
investing billions into something and fucking taking a loss on a product and you're not selling fucking software on there, like.
Listen, the thing that shocked me, I'm going to probably do a video on this too, but like the thing that shocked me was that their year-over-year sales are less, and last year they released no games. This year, at least they had a Forza, a Starfield, or something. Last year they had nothing. They got Pentiment. And now they're selling less consoles this year than last year with no games. And then that was less than the year before, which is crazy. So, like, it's a decline. And the fact that Sony was able to keep that demand high for 3 years. Because remember, after like a year or so, if people are like, I can't get it, they're just like, it's not for me, you know? But the fact that they kept people hungry to get this thing that finally, when they got it in stock, everybody wants to buy one. And they're not, and what's incredible is that they're not buying it because of their PS4 library. They're buying it because of all the games that they've released for the console. They release so many games, and that's the thing. It's a library of games. You buy the console, you know you're getting Horizon, God of Wars, Ratchets. Like, there's a library of games that they've released. They weren't like, I'm sure if they released no games in the 2 years, there was a lot of remasters and just old, play your old games better, like, the demand wouldn't be there. But the fact that they're releasing new games, whether cross-gen or not, the thing is that this library of new games, people want to experience it on the new hardware. And
I can't imagine being a new like
did it.
PlayStation gamer having last gen and this gen. Like, I ain't gonna have to buy shit for like 4 years.
It's crazy. And the other thing too is that unfortunately, I think the thing is too, the decision was a lot easier this generation because Xbox didn't have the demand, that it didn't warrant the demand with the games. Like, it didn't come out with a slew of incredible games, which was the pitch that everybody was telling us, was that Microsoft was waiting for next generation with all these studios, and they were going to have this slew of games. They didn't, and the games that did come out,
a lot of those launch games I'm still waiting to see.
Yeah, they had no launch games. So the decision this generation, it wasn't a very difficult decision. It was like, yeah, you go PlayStation or stick with your Switch or something like that. Like, the fact is Xbox didn't do anything to change the mind share to go to Xbox. It just kept whoever
If they went to
loves
bought
Xbox
Bethesda, look
there.
where they'd fucking be at right now. Like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, right? This year would have been
They'd
Forza
have
if there was
fucking
no
Horizon.
Bethesda.
They'd have Forza, and a shitty Halo. That's it.
I
They
mean,
would add
it's like
Forza,
if we
exactly.
just built great games, that it's not going to bring people over to our console.
Well, I know, exactly. and saying shit like that, man, that doesn't help anybody either. When the head of the whole gaming division, who his job is to make games, says making great games are not going to change anything.
Which
He
is
basically-
bull, because I'm thinking about
which is
getting a
bull.
Series X just so I can play an upgraded fucking Killer Instinct.
Look at the and even the way they announced that's ridiculous. But like, look at look at what he did with the saying that stuff, and look what Starfield did. Starfield came out, and the console actually went to second for a month. Oh my goodness! And Starfield was on NPDs. Whatever the case that is, even where it's sold, it doesn't matter. A game came out associated with Xbox, and the console shares shift. Now you got to keep doing that, and you got to have consistency. Now it just dropped completely off of that, so who knows if that was real or not? But the thing is that it happened. So the console did change a little bit when Starfield came out. So I don't, I think if you make great games, that's the point. You got to build a library. One game, Xbox is so poor right now. one game is not going to get their mindshare back, their trust back. You got to have a lineup, and you need to have a confident lineup. You can't have a Redfall, a Starfield, a Redfall failure, Starfield, even Forza, a game that was a key in of quality, came out with no quality. The quality dipped in Forza. For 6 years it took them to make this game, and the Forza franchise, which was Turn 10 was their go-to to take advantage of the console. This could have been a moment for Series X to say, hey, all that power, all those teraflops, here it is, because every generation, the Turn 10 was the studio that really brought out.
Games are really easy from what developers have told me to bring out, because you only have to render what's in front of you, and you don't get real close to it.
Yeah, and I said Forza was the only game that was 1080p 60. Forza was the only game that was 1080p 60 on the One X. On the One.
No,
I mean,
no,
Xbox One.
2160.
On the Xbox One. No, I'm sorry, yeah, but on the One, yeah, it was 4K 60 on there, but on the Xbox One, when everybody was making fun of 900p, Forza Motorsport was shipped at 1080p 60. Forza Motorsport on the Xbox One. That's why they couldn't make the claim that it's a 1080p 60 frames per second box, because of Forza. But then everybody else ran it at 900p. For the Turn 10, that engine was supposed to be optimized, and the fact that they really didn't take advantage of the Series X with this.
How do you go backwards? The One X.
I don't know. I don't know. New engine, my ass. That's the excuses that they're making. I think it's just. I don't know what the hell it is. But the thing is that to turn it back to what PlayStation sells, the problem is that it made it an easy decision this generation. Just go PlayStation. They rode the momentum of the PS4. They looked to the right to see if Microsoft was going to do anything. Microsoft just said, huh? We're buying some things. And it's like, no, dude, that doesn't do anything for me now. I'm going to go buy a PlayStation. So the demand...
Not just that, but remember the last time that we were excited for a console, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people as well, is the PS2. When the same thing similar to what's happening now, the PS1 had a great momentum, but then when we started to find out about the PS2, such as you can play DVDs, you can do, there's all these features that come into it. The next console that I think about that has a similar kind of vibe to it is the PS5. The PS4 momentum was great. It ended, the generation with some of the best games ever. And
fucking
then you go
2020 was just stupid, dude.
It was crazy. Now you come into the PS5 where you have all these new features. The DualSense is game changer, so it brought something new to the table. When you look at Xbox, they're just doing the same shit they did last generation with 12 teraflops.
It's like a fucking, it's like a super Xbox One X.
Yeah, but even the same dashboard. I was
playing at my buddy's, and I told him to hook up his new one. I played on that goddamn thing for like 3 hours until he told me I was already playing on it.
Yeah, it's the same dashboard. It's the same controller. They finally added a snapshot button, whatever that is. But Sony added the picture-in-picture. They added the tiles. They added a whole new interface. They made it seem like when you see the dashboard, that's a PS5. When you see an Xbox dashboard, you don't know. So the thing is Microsoft did not really emphasize why you should buy this console, and the games weren't there, and it made an easy decision. And the PlayStation, the thing, and you said when they're going to go third party, and then seeing what it is in Europe, I'm thinking we might see Xbox just go, hey, you know what? We're going to make a device. It's going to be US. We'll have our presence in mobile and PC overseas in Europe and things, but we'll have a console for the US where they still want a console, and that's the way they start pulling back.
That leaked, they're gonna go cloud with a mobile chip in it, so it's inexpensive.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why I feel
the trash can.
Well, that's why I feel that that's why I feel the S is there. Yeah, booster. I think that's the reason why they want the S.
Hey, next gen, you're doing fucking 1080 60. Get used to it.
I think so, because I think they're going to say, if you want to play our games on powerful systems,
we're not taking a loss on this
here's a
no
PC.
More. I've mentioned it already, but that's what happened with, that's what was crazy about Teardown, because I was bored one day, and, I didn't really care about the game Teardown. It's fun. I've played it. I played it on a stream last week, and it was fine.
It doesn't have inverted stick. That's a freak like me. I play inverted. It doesn't have inverted right stick on there.
Oh, heck, I didn't even check on that because I don't even think about that.
I couldn't find it. If anybody knows where it is, I could not find it on my PC game. Goddamn it! PC
But-
port, then put inverted.
If you watched, or if y'all watched the Digital Foundry breakdown of it, it literally everything runs fine on the PS5. Now, when you get to the Series S and X, if you want a smooth 60 frames per second with a blurry
Stop right
resolution,
there. Stop right there. Why is there a caveats? Why can't it just be the same?
well, hang on.
We are 3 years goddamn in an indie game teardown. Like, this should be like the same.
because there's
caveats.
so much
Probably the
code.
same reason they couldn't get ray tracing to work on
It was-
fucking.
It was VRR was
Minecraft.
saving the Xbox for 2 years. If you have a VRR TV, the frame rates are steady. It's like because your TV is compensating for them.
Yeah. So
Remember
except
that? Everything.
except on the Series X. So the Series X is
Oh.
only smooth. I'm sorry, no.
Oh.
The Series X is in full 4K, but it's glitchy and has frame pacing issues even
Why?
in the 120 mode. So you can either have it look great and be glitchy, or look blurry and run smooth, or you can get it on the PS5 and it just works. It's fine. It just does what the fuck it's supposed to.
But how the hell does a PC game, because this thing is a PC game first,
Yeah.
port it over to consoles, because this has been on PC forever, port it over to consoles, and Xbox makes the PC and made the Xbox. Like, how does the port from PC to Xbox mess up, and the PlayStation one is not?
Ask
With the
Forza,
PlayStation,
ask Halo Master Chief Collection. We can ask all kinds of people.
Exactly. I don't understand when Microsoft pitches this whole one ecosystem, Xbox, PC,
You
we're
can't
all
even
one
get
family
it right
now.
on one.
How you make the operating system that works where this game originated. How the hell is your console so incompetent that it has technical issues, frame pacing, glitching, hitches, we're sorry, come take it on the chins, all this other bullshit, and PlayStation, which is...
Oh, did we lose Jez?
No, because I say the words and she hears me and she talks to me. That's the one thing. I got to turn that off.
Oh.
I say that, that stupid voice thing. But yeah, how the hell does that, which has unique hardware, don't have those issues? I'll answer my own goddamn question. PlayStation made the console for developers. Microsoft
Yes.
made their console for the cloud,
Yep.
for the blades. They didn't
And we
give
just
it,
said that
yeah.
2 podcasts ago, how Mike Cerny, he's the one that...
They made it for developers.
And I say all the time, all Microsoft has to do besides making great games is just look at what fucking Sony has done. People forget the PS3 era. Nobody wanted to work with Sony. Even the big developers like EA is like, look, if
Yeah,
y'all
they
do
threw
something,
everything at
we're
the
not
wall,
fucking
dude.
doing
They
shit
didn't-
for you. And what
took
did
a
Mike
lot.
Cerny do?
Did
Made
you
it
watch my
happen.
last thing when I put that Jack Tretton interview where he said that you could talk a big game, but when you deliver it and listen to the developers and listen to what the people want,
Yeah,
you
I was
deliver
gonna
it. You
cut
could
that. I
talk.
forgot I was at work. I couldn't cut it. I
Yeah,
wanted to cut
man. Jack Tretton said he's like, you could keep talking and
that.
talking.
You
but
can talk
until
all you
do it-
want, but
Well,
fucking until you do it.
So
until you do it,
shit.
and that's what he did
Listen-
with the PS4.
this is this is Digital Foundry's reason, because they tried to soften the blow on the
Oh,
Xbox.
God,
So
yeah.
Yeah,
listen,
Sony don't talk
this is-
enough. and
Wait,
Xbox
what?
will
What do you
never
mean?
shut the
You
fuck
mean
up.
that? Wait, the Xbox tax doesn't exist at Digital
no,
Foundry?
no. Hang on.
No,
We'll get to
there's
the
no
Xbox
Xbox tax?
tax. No, listen. This
But
is,
wait, the tax should automatically say Xbox
here's,
sucks. Move
here's
on.
what they said. They said
That's what the tax
that
says.
it was because the
Tax
engine.
evasion.
It's the engine of teardown, because they use so many real world mechanics and physics on everything in the game that
Oh,
it
shit.
overloads it and can cause. That's what it is. It's just a very
Yeah, it can't handle
technical
the
game.
memory bandwidth.
Xbox said physics are hard. Oh shit.
Xbox said, "Well, we know that Redfall. They can't
Oh,
climb over tables,
shit.
Jez. I watched
Yeah,
you
oh
for
my
20
God.
minutes try to get over
No,
a
I
damn
played
table."
it. True Virgil told me I played it wrong.
Yeah, you played it wrong. You were
played
in a
it wrong.
room.
No,
and
he said
couldn't
I
get
hacked
to
the
you.
game.
I gotta find out if that's Black Prodigy. I swear to God, I've argued with him before. On
True Virgil
podcast.
said
And
I
that's
hacked the game.
I'm pretty sure
So-
True Virgil is Black Prodigy. I'm almost sure of it.
What's really funny, I don't know if Salty told you this, when I was reaching out to you and Salty to come on tonight, which I hope he's okay. He hasn't messaged me. Anyways, I was like, you responded pretty quick. Jez still hasn't responded. He goes, you got to get hold of his secretary. And I was like, dude, I don't have Virgil's
Oh,
phone number. I don't.
Hold
I
on.
don't-
His mouth is full right now with a couple of balls.
with a couple
Oh
of balls.
shit.
I also
he has
found
some
it
Herman
funny.
nuts in his mouth. He's a little tongue-tied.
Will and I talked about this last week. I found it funny that PlayStation releases one first-party game. First-party AAA single-player game, okay, non-VR, and it gets nominated for Game of the Year. Dipshits at Xbox release 4, and that shit don't go nowhere. Not even a little bit. And Will, do you have anything else to say on the sales numbers or anything before we get into the Xbox tax?
Would you rather have an ounce of chocolate or a pound of shit?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I talked about that in the. It's funny Nelson brings that up because when we're talking about the 14-year veteran from not Remnant, but the guys that made
Housemarque.
Housemarque. Everybody's freaking out. I'm like, dude, guys, relax. Like, this is normal. Like, the pipes of the gaming or just business in general is always a trickle. People are always leaving and coming. They're never fully
Not in the middle of development,
closed.
though. Either
It
they're behind
doesn't
schedule,
matter.
and he got
It does not
Okay.
matter, dude. Look, right, like I mentioned before, I just went through a transition at my job with a multi-billion-dollar company. CEO left in the middle of it. Literally, just left in the middle of it. Now, I thinking he was pushed out, but still, and same thing happened with. But anyways, that's besides the point. But what did I put in the Discord? Which, by the way, guys, get on the Discord. We have awesome conversations. Is right when Nelson started freaking out about this, I posted a picture of the chocolate fucking controller. And I'm like, this is what we're competing against.
Did you see
Chill the
Microsoft
fuck
sending
out.
Kojima? They sent in Kojima a chocolate controller.
Yeah,
Chocolate
Kojima.
Xbox.
Like, bro, chill the fuck out.
Dude,
we're not
they
even,
sent it.
and we're not even in the
Yeah.
same league. We're pros. They're fucking over here playing, pee-wee football. Like, let it go, guys. There's like,
I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now, Thrifty. This is the first time anybody's gonna hear this. What's his name? Hideo Kojima is the Kim Kardashian of the goddamn video game industry. That's all I'm saying. They send this shit, everything. They send them chocolate. They just sent them the Portal. Dude gets sent shit, and they're like, pose with it, Kardashian, pose with it. Like, we just want to see you with our product. Pose with it. And he's like, He had the friggin' G Cloud. He had the goddamn Portal they sent him. They sent him a chocolate Xbox. This guy's probably like, what do I do with this shit? They're like, just take a picture. You could Kojima Kardashian. Get over here. That's what he is. He's a social media,
I said
right?
3 years ago when he was going to do that cloud game for Microsoft, everyone's like, oh, he wouldn't do that when the rumors or whatever. I'm like, yeah, he would because he's his own studio right now, and they're probably going to give him $50 million to make a $5 million game. He's going to take that shit and put it in the bank.
He's making Panda Pop 3. That's what he's making.
Exactly. He's going to get paid $50 million to make a $3 million project.
Watch. He wants to do something interesting. Watch. He's going to do a goddamn
It's gonna be
cloud
interesting,
puzzle
right?
game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's
Holy
going to get
shit.
paid well for it, too.
So,
Cloud game.
Will, one of the things that you had just mentioned was when you were going on your
We've got
like
four
what
people
all we
working on-
have and
I'm in
everything.
the closet right now.
yeah.
You had started talking about the how we have the DualSense, and I saw somebody retarded on. I can't say that word. I'm so sorry. I saw somebody not intelligent at all, kind of Forrest Gump IQ, sit there and say, "I can't believe you would rather have a PS Portable over a Logitech G Cloud, blah blah blah. Fuck off, all of it."
Yeah.
And when you said DualSense, that reminded me that I wanted to talk about that tonight because it's a DualSense with an 8-inch fucking screen in the middle of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got Jess here who actually owns one. I mean, at first I wasn't gonna
Yeah,
get
I
one.
was review at work, and I don't even.
I wasn't
I
gonna
like
get
to
one
hear bullshit.
originally, but then I'm like, shit, at work I got like 3-4 hours downtime every single day. Like I'm in charge, so this is the perfect opportunity for that. But last minute I decided to get one, but it sold out like everywhere.
Yeah.
So the people that are pocket watching on what we're buying, I saw this at heard it at Porter Rock's channel yesterday. Well, I heard it today, but on his podcast yesterday, I forget who his guest was, but he said they're just broke. They're constantly judging us on how much we're spending, and I'm like, since when? And this goes back to people buying remakes and remasters and all this bullshit. It's like, what does it matter what we're buying? And the hilarious part about it all is people are trying to talk about everything that the PlayStation Portal does not do. But nobody on that side is talking, and even on our side, the PlayStation side, they're not talking about what the Portal actually does. Let's compare to what it does to other things, other electronic devices, and let's compare it that way. But right now, even the backbone, a lot of people that have the backbone already are the ones that are getting the Portal, and they're saying it's a huge difference. And look, if you get a DualSense controller, Normally it's $70 to $75. You get it on sale for right now $50, but that lasts for about a week. The DualSense Edge, which I love, it's my favorite controller of all time. I said this in the Discord. Is $200. So you're telling me for the same money of a DualSense Edge, I also get an 8-inch screen TV where I can play basically anywhere I have internet connection? Like, there's no conversation. They're just coming up with logical points. Like the dude that Porter Rock was talking about, he's got a backbone with a cell phone, and he's playing a basketball game on the background, TV and TV, where you have the bigger picture, and then you have a smaller picture on the bottom left-hand corner with another thing that you're watching. Can the Portal do this? Like, no, I don't want it to fucking do that shit. I wanted to play the games that I got back home on my PS5. That's what I want to do. When I was a kid, that was my dream. I wanted to play a game, and my parents say, hey, Will, it's time to fucking go to your auntie house. I can turn off the game, grab my device, and then once I get to my auntie house, continue playing the game so I can beat that level that I've been getting my ass kicked. That was my dream as a kid, and now it's a fucking reality. And who made that happen? PlayStation did, with the console that I prefer. I don't give a fuck about Xbox or Steam or fucking the Rogue or any of the fucking other products that they have out there.
Yeah, I say, like, you know, the whole thing with what other devices do. Like, I have those other devices, and you know, the thing is like, first off, I don't have the G Cloud. The thing with the G Cloud is that thing is a $350 device, Android tablet, and in order to play the cloud games, you need to buy that thing for $350 and then subscribe to Nvidia Cloud or Xbox Game Pass. So you need to buy it and subscribe, and that was the thing with the Portal. It's like, it's the games that you already have, the games you already bought, the DLC you already have. There's no cross-buy. Even things like I run into with Ally or the Legion Go, which I love the Legion Go. That is like my go-to now, my portable device. But again, it's a computer. It's a Windows computer. But again, you run into things where, hey, I bought this game on PlayStation, but now I got to buy it again. Does it have cross-saves and stuff? You don't need to deal with that with the Portal because everything you own is your PlayStation. There's a big convenience factor in that. And, you know, but then there's a trade-off of native gaming. But again, then you got to worry about if your DLC carries over, you got to buy again, double dips and all this other stuff. And that's where I think the PlayStation Portal has shown the success, that it's a dedicated device. It does the one thing that it does well. And there's no added cost to it. There's no hidden fees, subscriptions, and things like that behind it. It's everything that's on your thing, on your PlayStation, is on the go with you. And you don't have to say, oh, I need to subscribe to this service now to get access to these games. Because people are sick of subscriptions and all these hidden fees and all this other stuff. They just want a device, clear and simple. Everything that's on my system is on the go. Now, your mileage may vary. I've seen in the house, things incredible. Is basically I could watch a movie and play a game at the same time because I can multitask. Where if I just go play a game, I'm going to be invested. I can't watch a movie, and I want to. Or I'm hanging out upstairs. You know, my wife's watching TV, and instead of saying, "Okay, I'm leaving, going to my room," you know, to play some games, I could be actually there and conversate while I'm playing some games that maybe I don't want to like. I don't need the headphones on, surround sound, story focused. I could just, like hockey, that's what I'm playing now, see, because I'm on the podcast. So I just play, like, just go around hockey in the house. Outside, though, when you use it on a hotspot, to be honest, you definitely see a degradation in the resolution because it's saving the latency. It prioritizes the latency, the lack of latency over resolution. So it will drop your resolution in order to maintain a smooth connection. So if you do
but
a
does it
hotspot,
maintain
you definitely
that?
see it. From what I played, yes, and it does it a lot better than what like the Shiki app and what Remote Play does on other things. Like, I think it has a much better connection to the PlayStation, more prioritization than another app. Because you got to remember, the Asus Ally, the Legion Go, those are Windows computers. There are a whole bunch of other Windows operations going on at the same time, where this thing is a very simplistic, just connects, and that's all it's doing. It's a one-trick pony. That's what it is, the one-trick pony. And it just does exactly what it does. Whereas if you hook a laptop, a phone, those are multitask devices that also have things in the background that could be draining from your internet. Text messages, other apps, updates, Windows Update downloading in the background. Those things affect when internet is very important to your gameplay, essential. those other background tasks could affect that. So that's why having a dedicated device that just connects to your PlayStation is definitely a better way of experiencing it. Again, I do prefer native gaming, but if I had to, and in a crutch, I want to play this remotely, the Portal definitely gives you that experience. In addition, just so you said, the DualSense, the fact that it is a DualSense controller, you basically feel like you took your PlayStation with you because you're not missing a beat as long as you have a good internet connection. But that's the thing, the internet connection. You're not going to take this on a plane. You're not taking this on a cruise ship. You're not taking this in a car ride unless you have a hotspot, and that's going to be kind of an experience. In the house, it's the ideal thing. Instead of buying a second PlayStation, you could have bought a Portal, and now you have a PlayStation in every room. That's the way you can look at it.
Absolutely. And so you just spoke to my heart, because I am, even before the stuff happened in my household, I was still a cheap bastard. And so, like, not having to buy a second PlayStation and have to, like, go to a specific room in the house to play, with the games that I play, it's going to be really nice once I get it. Because I have, somebody asked in the chat if I'd gotten it yet, and I haven't. But the Portal can be your toilet PS. Absolutely. So here's the other cool thing.
And the screen looks really good. 1080p 60 in your house, you're going to be in shock that that's not an, like, you'll say, you definitely know it's not an OLED, but it is sharp. I have to say, it is not no cheap ass screen. It is definitely a really high quality 1080p panel.
And like for games like, so I like a lot of isometric games. So for games like Diablo, for games like Helldivers 1, for games like, for these type of games, it's perfect. For JRPGs, the turn-based style, perfect. I love playing those games on mobile. I actually have Final Fantasy VII and Chrono Trigger for my iPhone, and I hook my little strap on to my iPhone, and I can play. Hey, pause! And I can play. I can play that. Oh, Will had not Will. Hero had asked me to say this, guys. Happy Thrifty's Giving. I don't know why he wanted me to say that, but fuck it. We'll do that.
Happy Thrifty Giving.
Happy Thrifty Giving. That's right.
No, we already had Grindsgiving.
Yeah, Grindsgiving was Monday.
We're on leftovers now on Grindsgiving.
I try my very, very best to be enamored and in awe of how well Jez puts on his shows and not steal all of his shit. Like, I try really hard to be super...
They don't steal anything.
I don't exactly.
You don't have to. What are you gonna steal?
All of the sound clips, essentially.
Oh, damn.
Like,
the essence.
I like nothing more than Mondays at around 7 o'clock. I'm home. I already took my medicine. I took my shower, and then like the intro music hits, and I am in my zone. And that thing it's my Monday night ritual, really. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, don't be lighting candles. I don't want no Phil Ness rituals. There's
it's some kind of candle. It's scented.
Oh shit!
But anyways,
that butted ass candle. Oh shit!
Yeah. So real quick on the sales numbers, Guapzilla posted this, and I thought it was awesome.
Guap.
So the PlayStation has had success every month. The lowest month that it had this year so far was in May at 81% year-over-year sales growth. Xbox. Okay, so this is going to fly in the face of the narrative if we just release good games, it's not going to matter. In February, after Hi-Fi Rush came out and made the big splash, Xbox sales went up 13%. In the preparation for Redfall, because everybody thought Arcane, Redfall,
Arcane don't miss. Quote.
Arcane don't miss, and we just got another exclusive from Bethesda
I don't like any of their games.
In Hi-Fi Rush, and this is going to be great. So in April, it bumped up 19%. And then Redfall came out, and it was shit. It dropped to 16%, a negative 1%, a not reported in July, a negative 12%, and then the month of Starfield, a negative 35%, because they were saying, finally, the dumbasses who keep buying Xboxes were sitting there saying to themselves, Okay, they had us with Hi-Fi Rush. They screwed us with Redfall. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point, dude. Like you're like I think it was like they thought because they keep thinking Xbox is gonna have that 180 like turnaround moment, and it's like Redfall was a reminder. It's like, oh no, it's still them. It's still the same people that dropped that messed up Halo. Same people. It's
I
them
used to get
again.
excited for Xbox games, but after like 6, 8, 10 times in a row, I'm like, I know which. I'm getting the which version.
And the thing that just drives me crazy is that they know. They're like, well, you listen, I have that video from Matt Booty, Dirty Ass Booty, and Phil, and he's like, we need to gain trust with our audience. Like, we need to get that trust back. I'm like, you don't do that by dropping Redfall the way you do and Halo the way it is. And then people crying now going, Halo's better. Come back, everybody. It's like, dude, you burnt that bridge, man. You burnt that bridge. And even the Halo content, like, you can't be coming back 3 years later. Like, this is... Sea of Thieves was a new IP, and nobody really had hype for Sea of Thieves. That just grew into what it was. Halo had expectations, and you didn't meet those expectations. So it is going to be hard for you to try to even get that shit back. But how many times you screwed a pooch before you... And that's what I said, like, on my show about this Xbox tax. I'm like, it's all self-inflicted. You know, any bias towards them has been given because the product that they put, how many times do you overpromise and underdeliver? And even when we were leading into Redfall that you brought up about that, they did not show the game fully for what it was. They did not show a straight run-through of gameplay similar to what they did with Spider-Man. With Spider-Man, they showed that straight mission, and everyone's like, wow, look at the water. Look at the water's not that good, and wound up looking better at the game, you know? But Sony is confident of their games and show straight-up gameplay. And Microsoft, they seem to hide their games, keep that doubt in there, and show what they want to show. And that doesn't instill confidence in whether the game is, like, what is the game? We never saw Redfall straight up. You get a mission, do the mission, come back. It was all cutscenes. It was all just like slices. Okay, he's walking into this building. Slices, he's walking out of the building. Slices, he's shooting a vampire. Slice to this. Oh, now he's getting a mission. And it was always... Why? Same thing with Starfield.
I said that with the Halo trailer. When they showed the trailer, it was like
running
and gunning. It's like, can we see some actual combat? Like, nope,
exactly.
It's just photo fucking running, shooting. Oh, it looks great. Oh, like, we're gonna see any gameplay? Oh, there was. I think that was. Hey,
nope.
Slow that down.
That was their multiplayer trailer.
It was like 5 seconds long, where you can see the guys swinging.
Same thing with Forza Motorsport. Forza Motorsport was all ray tracing on things that never were in the final game. It was all in-game engine and all this other stuff. Like Forza, they used to do a straight up race.
The Wish Edition.
They used to do a straight up race at E3 on stage to show Forza. They did not do that this year at all. Forza was shown as like in-rendered. I'm like, in-rendered engine for Forza? You used to have that Dan Greenwald on stage and just show a straight up race and him talk over it. Why are you not showing your games? This is the important thing. So you're not going to get confidence when you don't show your games. And now you see, you're right, Redfall was a reminder that, hey, no, it's still them, and that was a very low time, man. And they prove that they don't know quality games. Like they don't, there's quality issues there, and their management is too preoccupied with other things.
Hey, look at State of Decay 3. What Phil said, I'm most excited for that game. I knew there was fucking problems.
That's what I was just going to say. So Nelson,
they haven't shown the game.
Nelson in the Discord
but when
earlier...
Phil, I've noticed when Phil says this is the game I'm excited for, that game's fucked up.
Oh man, Crackdown's his favorite.
He has 1,000 hours in Vampire Survivors IO. Like, come on. If that's the game you spend all your time with, I don't trust you gaming. I just don't.
But
have you played his
Thrifty.
games?
Look, Thrifty. First off, you look at this year that they released games. Look at the game that's actually getting in nominations and stuff like that. It's Hi-Fi Rush. What does that tell you? Redfall, Starfield, they're not really prominent in the Game Awards. So what does that mean? Guys, they want more Hi-Fi Rush type games. They want more of that kind of stuff.
Nobody played that bitch though.
That was a stealth drop in the Game Pass, that game. But
it was decent from what I've heard.
Did you hear that interview why they said why it was stealth drop though?
Oh, because the developer wanted to do something fun.
They didn't know about it until 2 weeks before.
Yeah,
no. Phil didn't even know about it until 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks before it dropped.
Oh, Phil never knows anything. He
doesn't. They knew they had a project in the works, but they had not seen the game at all until.
He thought Redfall was an 85.
They just knew the project name.
The most
Phil
honest
doesn't
thing
know.
that Phil Spencer has ever said was, "I am highly overpaid for the work that I do."
Shit. You say that again.
That's
God
the
damn.
most honest
Get paid
thing
his
he's
salary?
ever said.
And make the bullshit calls that he does, man, and then he can just be like, "Well, I didn't know about that." What did he just said something else he didn't know about. He didn't know anything. There was something else that he wasn't sure. What the hell was it? It was he wasn't aware. Oh, it was when they took away the Game Pass from everybody, from the employees. Phil's like, "I didn't know about this. I had no clue. I'll fix it right away." It's like, dude, yeah, right.
Yeah, we need
signed
those
those Game Pass
engagement
checks.
numbers. We need those
You don't-
engagement numbers. That's what
Phil
we need.
Spencer doesn't know that his Xbox employees get Game Pass. Okay, Phil Spencer. Yeah, he doesn't know that I got taken away. I just found out about this. I didn't know. It's like bullshit.
All right, so let's. I also want to point out
never
that
knows.
the Nintendo Switch that's been out for 7 years had 3 months of growth, 2 of which were almost at 40% growth. The highest month year over year that Xbox had was in April at 19%, which I'm guessing it's because of the false marketing that was done on Redfall. Like you pointed out, Jez, that game was shown in slices on a master freaking PC, because I remember watching that and I was like, what the fuck is that achievement popping up in the lower right hand corner? What is that? I don't know that symbol. And then I
IGN was
watched,
playing it on PC.
yeah, and then I watched Thrash, and Thrash was like, that's a fucking PC symbol. And I'm like,
Dude, they had people play
That
that
was
game
Steam.
in March, saying a potential game of the year.
yeah.
That's what they had. Like, what were they smoking?
So the only month they had that was even close to 20% was a month built on a lie, which shouldn't surprise any of us because we already have the Forza Incomplete Edition that is constantly getting updates and still not up to where it's supposed to be, while we get a game like Spider-Man that's fully fucking done. Granted, one's a
Or
racer.
even an equal one, Gran Turismo, where we get free content updates for 5 or 6 years.
But that's a live service, and live service is bad.
I
And
don't pay anything.
I'm kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
don't pay a nickel.
And so here's the deal. I don't pocket watch. If live service is your jam, let it be your jam. But just
I
don't
bought the
come.
game. That's it.
No.
End of funding.
End of funding. You made a game. I like the game. I bought the game. I'll be damned. It's the craziest thing ever. But so the narrative that if we just make good games, it's not going to sway the console. It's not going to sway the console sales is absolute horseshit. I have said it once and I'll say it again. Right now, where it looks like, at least on perception, that Xbox or that PlayStation is kind of on shaky ground right now. Perception-wise, it doesn't take a lot to make that leap. And so now would be the time to strike and go, hey, here's the next 4 games we have. It's this one, been in development for 6 years. It's this one, been in development for 5 years. It's
They're going to lean on that Final Fantasy and The Last of Us Part 2. Oh, Xbox? Oh.
Xbox needs to come and put their foot on the throat. But the problem is they don't
We gotta see
have
these
the
games that we thought were
ability.
coming out in
Let me
2021.
ask you guys this thing. Like, is there any game right now that they have that is going to have the level of hype of Starfield?
Hellblade 2.
Fuck no.
No way.
Oh
You think
my
Hellblade
god,
2
nobody
is
gives a shit about
the
that
hype?
game.
Wait a second. The hype of Starfield. What Starfield was hyped up for years. Hellblade 2
Bethesda
is not
versus-
carrying that. No way. Hellblade 2, I'm excited for personally, but like the
Hellblade
permeation
1 was not a
of
big game, though. It wasn't compared to
Yeah.
like a Fallout or something.
There-
You're
like,
talking
there
like
is
1 million
no
copies to
game.
like 15 million copies. You know
Guys,
what
I'm
I'm saying?
telling you, with the way that it has been brought up in every
Well,
fucking
you gotta
podcast
go to the next
I don't
best
think
thing.
conversation, and
You know the
there's
way
no way
Xbox
Hellblade-
is.
You think Hellblade 2 has the same type of hype level of expectations from
Hell no, it
than
doesn't.
Starfield?
Yeah, I think it
I'll
has
say
fucking
it
that
has
game
the
up.
same
I guarantee
exposure.
you.
No, it
Negative.
Not
Negative.
even 1/10.
Negative.
No way.
Listen to why I say that, because whenever we talk about Xbox and Xbox exclusives, it is Fable, Starfield, Hellblade.
Even Fable does not have the hype that Starfield had, dude.
No way.
Thrifty, how much Starfield was talked about for years? We didn't even see an ounce of gameplay. Starfield was talked about. They announced Starfield in 2019, and Starfield was his next big baby. The Starfield hype was insurmountable, and that's why it didn't live up to that hype.
Game of the generation, Jazz.
Are they saying game of the generation for Hellblade? Nobody's saying that shit.
Nope.
I'm telling you right now, there is no game right now, not even Fable, that has the hype level that Starfield had. There's nothing. Going into Starfield. I'm not saying now. I'm saying going into Starfield.
6,
that's the only one.
I don't think it'll deliver either.
Do you think they'll if they get the rights to Persona 6, do you think that could rival it?
They'll fuck it up.
Wait, what do you mean get the rights? That they'll have exclusive Persona 6?
Persona 6 has not actually been announced for the PlayStation yet.
They don't have the market for it. They won't have the market for it.
They won't have the marketing for that. It costs too much because they're going to sell.
I'm just saying.
Listen, Persona 6 doesn't have
Holy
the hype
shit, hang on, guys.
Starfield.
Station identification. We just hit 40. Thank y'all for all showing up and hanging out.
Hit that like button.
Yeah, hit that like button. Subscribe. Also, I found out from another content creator that I'm supposed to be telling y'all to hit the bell icon and turn the notifications on. Apparently, I'm supposed to be saying that, and I haven't been. So, do that. Thank y'all again. This is a record night. This is the best night I could have asked for on a Thanksgiving special episode. So, Jez, pick up, go again. I just wanted to make sure that I said that.
Yeah, no, hit that notification, hit that like button, and then disagree with Thrifty.
Dude, thank you, Jeff. That's my full-time job.
I don't know what the hell is going on here.
There's not even a debate.
Because I'm talking about the hype of Starfield going into it.
Hellblade is super niche. Like, nobody played that shit. Like, Bethesda sells 20 million copies by
and I'm not talking about... I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about where Starfield hype was, dude. It was like everybody, Starfield. Like, the world wanted Starfield. Like, it was crazy. And the fact is like, I don't think that there's an IP right now, besides Elder Scrolls right now, that could live up to that. Hellblade, Fable, Perfect Dark. Like, that's what I mean. Starfield should have been that game that changed, that moved the needle, and it didn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't know what Microsoft has left that can even do something like that.
Fun fact: it was actually their worst month.
They spent the $7 billion. Because what else does Bethesda really have that's successful? Doom does okay, but all the rest of the games are flops.
Not Doom, yeah,
so
you're right. It's Elder Scrolls 6, really. That's what it is.
Yeah, like, it might make a good game and it might make a little profit, but Bethesda makes a lot of money and the rest of their studios bleed fucking cash.
Elder Scrolls 6 is probably the next game that Microsoft has under its belt. You could say Call of Duty's, but even that, like, that just has this thing.
Probably.
But I'm saying the Elder Scrolls is probably the only one, because I don't think Hellblade 2 is going to come in here and move that needle that way that Starfield
Go look
could
at the
have done.
completion rate of the first one on Xbox. You'll know how
I can't wait for Hellblade 2. I just hope that,
I'm
it's
not talking about the game. I'm just saying it's
going to be a real kick in the ass if it's just like Hellblade 1, like the same type of level, like just like the limitation and stuff like that. People expecting like open world kind of shit. I don't know. But if this game is just the same kind of game, just limitations, and it looks a little bit better, it is what it is. But like, it's gonna suck that it took so long to make this game, and it's not doing like
the
bigger
first one was
and
made for $12 million, and then they're gonna have like 300 million wrapped up in this shit, and it's gonna be like
and
sell
this
a
took
couple
so
100,000
long.
copies.
Exactly. So like this game, we're hoping that it takes long because for some reason. Well, Xbox, the length of time it takes to make a game doesn't guarantee quality. You're waiting 6 years for Halo, and you get things missing after a year delay. Forza took 6 years. Drag racing not there. We're sorry. Ray tracing.
State
not
of
what
Decay
we
is
told you.
2027.
Oof.
Like, and the the developer has come out and said we didn't want to show anything. Like, we didn't even want to show the reveal.
That is ridiculous because you're right. It's 2000. Yo, State of Decay 2 came out in 2018, 2017.
Which, shout out to Nelson for sharing that article with me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but it took like years to fix that game.
Right.
But
And
I just don't get it. Why did it take them so long to make these games? And then
Well-
they come out and they're missing shit.
it takes them a long time
Well, that's the
because
thing. They got to
have
finish it
to.
over the next 3 years.
Well, they have
They
to
got-
pay
they
the
gotta get it running.
Xbox tax. Okay.
Oh,
So-
damn.
The Xbox tax, according to an article by Game Rant, which I'm only going to read half of it because the other half they absolutely dismantle the whole thing. Xbox tax is shorthanded for the perceived discrimination by the Game Awards against any title associated with Xbox, and it quickly began trending on social media after the 2023 Game Awards nominees were announced. Evidence was drawn from the history of the Game of the Year categories throughout Spike Video Game Awards, VGX, and the Game Awards. The Spike Video Game Awards began in 2003, and only 5 years have featured Microsoft Studios game titles, including Halo. Including Halo. Furthermore, Halo reached its nomination in 2010. No more Xbox games were nominated for Game of the Year awards at Spike and Keighley shows. The Xbox games that ran for Spike's Gotti category and their respective years are Halo 2 in 2004, Gears of War in 06, Halo 3 in 07, Gears of War in 08, Halo Reach in 2010. None of those motherfuckers are still at those studios. And then meanwhile, games from Sony, Nintendo, and third-party publishers are flourishing. Since the Game Awards replaced the Spike Video Game Awards and VGX in 2014, Sony has only missed the Gotti vote for that year, while Nintendo didn't have Gotti nominations in 2016 and 2018. So PlayStation has a Game of the Year nominee from 2015 onward. Their games are always up there. And so he goes on in this article to talk about how they expanded the pool of jurors, of jury members, and those jury members are actually picked by the companies and by the developers. So that way, Sony
Phil
gets
Spencer
some
sits on the
picks.
board.
Yeah, Sony gets picks, Nintendo gets picks, Microsoft gets picks, some of your larger publishers get picks, and so there's no way to rig this damn thing with some perceived bullshit Xbox tax. You make great games?
I'd like to know what games they would put in for Game of the Year. Like, are you serious?
Well,
What would you
Starfield,
put in
man.
there?
Starfield, that's what they want.
Get
They
the
want
fuck,
Starfield.
It's not in the top 15.
Dude, 2 years ago
maybe
they
20.
wanted Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah,
That
had a better
Horizon
shot than
4 was less
Starfield.
content.
That's because
Remember
that's
that?
all they had. That's all they
Yeah,
had.
that's all they had. It was the highest rated Metacritic game, and they're like, why is that not in Game of the Year?
Because it's a fucking Madden or a 2K or MLB The Show. It's a fucking
they didn't
yearly
care.
release.
They didn't care. They wanted it as Game of the Year. It was the highest rated. Forza Horizon 5 should be Game of the Year.
Well, I'm
racing
sorry.
game.
It's not a
That's what
yearly
they want.
release. It's just that because it's the most commonly released game every 4 years, to Xbox that's a yearly release. Where for the industry, that's like, dude, we were babies, we're toddlers, we're children, now we're adults, we're married, and we're dying, and you still haven't released a fucking game.
Dude,
So-
that's
The
Like, I'm scared for
Xbox
my
tax.
son. My son is never going to play more than 3 first-party Xbox games in his life, and he's 7. Like, that's at the pace they're going at.
and they're
It's
all
embarrassing.
forgettable too.
And
It's
they're
all forgettable,
forgettable.
too. Nobody's talking about let's go play like any of their games.
So,
anymore. They made them forgettable.
Jez, one of the guys in our Discord posted one of the GIFs based off of something you do in your show with the "Oh no, we suck again" thing.
Mhm.
And what I pointed out was like, that actually kind
You know
of
what's
annoys
funny?
me.
He started
because-
doing that when I posted under one of his comments where
Oh
posted
no,
a
we
comment,
suck again.
yeah, I put up the video and then it became part of the show and I'm
But-
like, I'm part of the show.
But
Hey,
my
there you
frustration is that they don't suck again. They haven't stopped sucking for like 13 years now. And
Yeah.
that's
Look, it's the only video clip I can think of, okay?
it's the only But like, it's crazy because you look at that and we're like, oh no, we suck again, haha, that's funny. But then you really start to like think about it because after you take your medicine, sometimes you get in deep thought about things. You go, wait a second. They've never come out of sucking. They went from being really hot, really popular, doing really well, almost beating the PS3, to completely and absolutely, utterly failing. And
You know what's funny? You know what changed? They started making their own games.
That's actually true.
No, I'm gonna tell you what
Dead
I
ass.
tell you what actually changed is that they focused. Microsoft came
They
in
stopped
and they
doing
took
partners
more.
and they started doing their own games.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's not good.
They stopped doing the partners. They stopped their partnership stuff after Tomb Raider.
Which, so it's Sony's fault that they can't get exclusives when they're the ones.
Nah, but they still do it. Like Stalker 2, like they're still doing it to some respect, like some of the things, but not big games anymore.
And
I
also,
heard that's
what's
like
this?
2 weeks.
What is this conversation? Which we talked about earlier. Like, okay, we all know that this Xbox going third party, but I'm like, okay, Xbox goes third party, and then what? What are they gonna do? Subcontract games out? They're gonna get a lease from a contract and then put it out as a third
Perfect
party?
Dark.
It's like
They'll
it's
do
ridiculous. They can't. And something we didn't talk about. What was it the main writer, the main gaming director for Gears is now working for Santa Monica? Was that breaking news yesterday or the day before?
Oh shit, I missed that.
Yeah, she
So,
went over there somehow.
I'm not super excited for that because the last couple Gears sucked ass. And this is coming from somebody who
5
just
was alright.
played
Hive
Xbox.
Busters was good.
Hive
For the
Busters was good. That was good. Hive Busters was good.
very good game.
I liked
But
it
the
better than
first
Gears
three,
5.
the first 3 Gears, I mean, you can't.
Oh, no, nothing beats the first 3 Gears.
No. And I just played those for the first time last year when I got my son a Series S for Christmas.
Oh my God.
I went
Oh,
through the
then you were-
Halos and all that shit. Yeah, no, I was like,
Oh.
what is
Isn't it
everybody
crazy?
talking about?
Isn't it crazy? You played those games for the first time. Isn't it crazy
Yep.
how it devolved to what it is now? Halo
so
Infinite, Gears 4, 5.
I told also on Thrifty when last year I was trying to beat 100 games because I've been off gaming for a long time. So this is my first opportunity with Xbox, and I started off with what I know: Halo, Gears. So I played Halo 1, 2, 3. I'm like, holy shit! Like, why is everybody shitting on Xbox? Then I got to Halo 4, then Halo 5, then Halo Infinite. I didn't even finish. Then I
Halo
jumped
Infinite
into
was
Gears.
horrible.
I played Gears 1. I fell in love with the fucking game. I played it twice, back to back. I went to Gears 2, same shit, back to back. Gears 3, I only played once, but I plan on going back. And then I got into the other Gears, and I'm like, nah, let's see what else Xbox has. And I started looking. I couldn't find anything else. Nothing else.
It's because they don't have anything else. That's
Then,
Played KOTOR.
after that month and a half or so of going through those games, then I snapped back into reality, and I'm like, oh yeah, Xbox sucks ass. But while I was playing those games, I was really questioning myself, like, wait a minute, why are people talking shit about Xbox?
Yeah,
And then I realized why it was.
Yeah.
So just imagine
And-
somebody who's been a lifelong Xbox gamer,
Exactly. Yeah,
how
here
much
you go.
they fucking feel. Like, I went through
Here
the
you
roller
go.
coaster in a
then
month and a half.
Dude, and on top of that, have somebody tell you it's better now.
Yeah, no,
Xbox
that's
is better now than what it was.
And
Tell
mind
me
you,
how
I was
that
playing.
makes sense.
I was playing with the shitty graphics. I was playing with the 20
And
years
then
ago
have
technology.
these clowns on the internet and on YouTube tell you Xbox is in a great position now. They're better now than they ever were.
That.
After playing those games, you tell me that they're better now.
Oh.
And those crazy, they didn't own Epic. They didn't go
Nope.
to the legal stuff to buy Gears. They just partnered with them and made that game. And nobody had a little glimpse. Nobody had a little mouthpiece game. You should buy Epic. Nobody cared. We got
No.
Gears 1, 2, and 3. And then all of a sudden they made Gears Judgment. That was bad. And then because that was made by the guys that did I don't know if you played that one. That was made by the guys that did what was it, the People Can Fly, the people that made Outrise. They made the Gears Judgment, which wasn't that good. That was the end of the 360 generation, and then Gears 4 came out, and Gears 4 brought
That's
back
the only
Rod
one I didn't
Ferguson.
play. I got like an hour into that, and I was like, I can't
Judgment's
fucking
not
do this.
good.
Holy
No.
fuck.
But question for Jess
You're
real
pretty
quick,
cool.
because Jess, I know that, like I mentioned before, I'm a huge fan of your podcast. You're the only channel that I actually pay monthly because you deserve it.
Oh,
you are
damn.
hilarious. So I know your background
Yeah,
from,
yeah.
the Nintendo, the GameCube, then, the Xbox,
Yeah.
the PlayStation. I know that. So my question to you as a previous, big Xbox guy is, this isn't the first time this happened with Xbox, right? Where they just completely miss opportunities of investing in the future of the company. Like you said, nobody spoke up about Epic. Nobody spoke up about all these other, people that make these great games. But isn't this even a recent thing, such as the Spider-Mans and such as, Alan Wake 2?
Dude, they
and-
passed up Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. Isn't this
Yeah.
a more consistent thing throughout the 22
They
years they've
passed
been
up
alive,
Yakuza.
Judge?
They could have had Yakuza for exclusive.
I'm
They
gonna
came to
tell
them
you,
first.
no.
They didn't want it.
In the 360 era, they made decisions that were competitive. They did that DLC for Grand Theft Auto 4, and the big thing of the 360 era was getting games day and date, where they didn't get that in the previous era because PlayStation dominated so much that people said it'll go to Xbox later. So Sony got these timed exclusives just because they were more popular. The 360, they really made a big emphasis. They were getting GTA 4 day and date. They got Final Fantasy, what was it, 10? Day in Final Fantasy 11 or 13. It was 13. It was 13. Which one? It was 11. 11 day and date. It was with the one with lightning and stuff. Which one was that? Was that 11? With
That was
lightning?
13.
13. This was 13 day
13.
and date. That was a huge announcement because they never got a Final Fantasy day and date. So the thing is like that they made themselves relevant in the 360 and they worked their ass off. They did good partnerships. They made the games. They built the ecosystems. They built Xbox Live around that, and that brought people together. And they were doing things like with online, and they made some great deals. They had exclusive BioShock. They had the Fight Night demo. They were out a whole year before Sony. It wasn't until near the end of the 360 where they started focusing on Connect that they
Top
started
series of
making
all
these
time,
decisions.
aspects.
Yeah, they started doing this Connect stuff. They were doing more of this casualization. They were this casualizing the audiences, like going for more. Like Gears Judgment came out. It was not the greatest Gears game. Connectimals, all the Connect stuff, and it was like partnerships with the NFL, and they kind of getting more Microsoft-ized in the sense, and that kind of, and then at that same time, Sony started handing out Uncharted, God of War 3, Uncharted 4, Uncharted 3, Uncharted 2, I'm sorry, and then and made people and what was it, Last of Us Part 1. And around that time, Sony's lineup was maturing of their their first party games, and Microsoft was going after that Wii audience. And that's where it started. And then the straw that broke the camel's back was that 2013 show where they basically took advantage of the gamer and really said, hey, you'll buy an Xbox because it's an Xbox, and we did good this generation. Let's throw some TV in there. But the problem is I didn't stop Xbox then. I supported it because they had games. They had Rise. They showed Rise. They showed Dead Rising 3. They had Killer
Oh,
Instinct. They
Rise
had
was another
games.
game that I played and I really enjoyed.
Yeah. It was
game.
simplistic for what it was, but
Yeah.
it showed, it had next-gen graphics for at the time, and they had games. And they had Titanfall coming up, which could have been the next Call of Duty for 360, for the Xbox One. So they had Titanfall in the spring. They had Days, and then they had Sunset Overdrive. Ted Price, a Sony guy, was on stage at Xbox going, oh, damn, like, they're making moves. And then, so they started trying to get back their audience with the Xbox One. They had the games. And then in 2016, when they shut down Lionhead, they shut down. They changed, and that's when they changed. And they went after the PC crowd. They just I
So
don't know.
just
That's
like
when it went down.
what you're telling me is that around that time, between the end of the 360, the beginning of the Xbox One, Xbox went back to their roots, which is the whole
In the
point that
beginning.
it got started is because Bill Gates wanted Microsoft Windows in every console
Yep. They
possible.
fought not to have that.
So the whole thing of where the Series X, Series S is today, Xbox as a whole is today, guys, this has been planned since the inception, and you guys have all been played like a fiddle. You guys are giving them exactly what they wanted.
I'm going to tell you what happened is that the Xbox was small, and they were kind of able to do their own thing. And what happened is when Phil got the seat at the table, or when Xbox became part of Microsoft's like arm, and gaming became part of their arm and their plan, Microsoft got their grubby hands, their teams, Office, all those people now have a kind of like, they got to try to put gaming into there. And Frog on my show, my co-host, man, Frogs, he said it the best, where he goes, there's too much Microsoft and Xbox. And when that happened, all this went out the head. That's this PC gaming, this getting on phones. Just like they said, like they're trying to get Xbox more on PC and mobile to reach the global audience than selling them a console. And they said in that article today where, PC and mobile are more of the opportunities for Xbox in Europe than selling them a console. The console is just not selling. So they're going to try to get their shit through mobile and games. And then Satya said the worst thing they did was get rid of Windows Phone because they don't have a mobile operating system. They don't have a mobile storefront. And without it, they need their competition to survive like a friggin' virus. And the problem is that their competition is going to make sure that you could be part of us, you could be part of our shit, but we're never going to let you overtake what we've done. And that's what happens. Your competition will be there. They'll help you because they don't want to look monopolistic. They'll help you. But when you start getting a little big, they're going to hold you down because you're not going to get big enough to overtake them and be number one. And that's what Apple and Google are going to make sure of. And that's the problem that Microsoft has. They are last in everything, and they need their competition because they decided to skip it, and they need their competition. Same thing with VR. VR is here. MetaQuest is doing what it's doing. VR is doing what it's doing, and Microsoft tried to just kind of snowshoe it. Oh yeah, Samsung's making them. Lenovo makes some headsets. We do virtual offices, and guess what? I bet you Facebook and Meta are going to do more of that virtual AR mixed reality thing that Microsoft talked about but never fully embraced and implemented because they're lazy sons of bitches. They just wanted to be part of the conversation and never act on it. And like Jack Tretton said, you could talk all you want, but unless, and look at even the AI shit that went on, dude. Tell me about bad bet from Microsoft, that open AI and the guy leaving, Satya saying he's hiring him, then the guy's going back. Dude, even that's a friggin' disaster. And Satya was shaking in his boots because that's his gamble. That's what everybody's betting Microsoft on is AI. That's the new shit. It's a mess. Like Microsoft is just such. They piss me the fuck off because they talk so much and they have good ideas, but they never follow through with them. And that and it costs me money. Surface, Windows Phone, Mixer. It costs me money because I believed in their talk and I lost out on it. And like they spent all that money on Mixer. And people are saying the same thing now. Oh, they're spending so much money on these studios. They're really in it. You said the same thing when they bought Ninja and Shroud for Mixer. Oh, they're really serious about streaming. Who would spend all that money to bring those guys over? And 6 months later, they shut it down. They could do it. Look, they bought Nokia. They're really serious about phones. Where's Nokia?
Oh,
It just pissed me off, man. Like, oh my God, there's a legacy of mine. It's just like it's so frustrating to follow. It's just ridiculous.
Jez, in the basement of your house, do you have like a graveyard of old Microsoft products?
Dude, I got my Nokia phone. I got.
I used to have a
Surface
document of it, dude. It was
out.
like 37 pages long.
Dude, I bought the Surface RT because I believed in Windows 8.
What the hell was
Windows
the RT?
That was the one that only allowed you to install apps from their Windows Store when it was a touchscreen Windows. Remember when they went exclusively touchscreen Windows? With the panels?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought that Windows RT that's because they needed app support, and you could only it was their mobile type, like there was their iPad take on Windows.
Huh.
Yep. Sold
we
that
have we
Yeah,
have a
look at that.
laptop that can be a touch screen, but that's not the same thing you're talking about.
No, dude, Windows RT, and you know what's funny is they're still trying to do it now. When you hear this Windows on ARM, they're trying to turn Windows into this mobile platform akin to like a Chromebook or akin to like an iPad, a simplistic, basically thing. The problem is that with ARM processors, they need to get the app support, or they got to make sure, because Microsoft has a big problem in enterprise, is that they got this legacy Windows NT that everybody makes an app for, ultimate compatibility. So they can't really change it, and that's why when you look, like, they don't get the app support they want because people don't want to they don't want to recreate the wheel. It's like, hey, I already made the app for Windows, it should work. And Microsoft's like, no. Same thing happened with UWP. Remember that? It was supposed to be this universal application wrap that was going to put games on Xbox and PC and Windows Store, and you make the game once and it works everywhere. Nobody ever did it. And then remember they canceled UWP. Remember they canceled it? You don't remember any of this stuff. But anyway.
I don't. Like, that's the
but
thing.
that affected Xbox. That affected Xbox because supposedly by tying the Windows 10 store with Xbox, if somebody made a game for Windows, it would automatically be an Xbox. And all those apps would be functional on Xbox because it would be one universal environment. And what happened is that they did not get the app support, and they wanted to put their games on Steam, so they scrapped the whole UWP, screwed some developers that took it, and they made it that, and whatever the hell they made it for Steam when they put it all that when they opened up their Windows store and said we're putting our shit on Steam. Screw this UWP. Nobody wants to develop for Windows 10 store, and they pivoted again, but they screwed developers in the process. So tell me, how do you gain that trust? How do you gain the trust of developers to make games for you, to make stuff for you? How do you get the trust of gamers? They lost trust because they don't stick with what they talk about. That's their problem.
Well, and if you, like, so they were really big in talking about the cloud and the cloud this and the cloud that, and Stuttering Satya Nutella has always talked about the cloud. That's his thing. But Sony comes out and they release the Portal. Everyone's like, oh man, I hope they're like cloud support. And Sony then comes out.
It's their history.
The director of this shit comes out of client engagement with products, comes out and says, well, we want to see how this works first. And then cloud is our next thing, but we got to make sure we can get remote play working right. Yes, Nutella from Booty. That is absolutely right. I can't say Nadella.
Yeah, sorry about my Microsoft rant.
Without being Nutella. But, like, then, so now you see the Portal come out, and you're like, okay, cool. Step 1 is the Portal. Step 2 is cloud. Cool. You can look at the Portal and go, all right. So if you're on hotel Wi-Fi, probably doesn't work as good. It does have some blurry issues. Good performance, but overall need to be on the home network to get the best performance. What that tells me is that Microsoft is so full of shit because cloud gaming has to be 5 years away. Like, full-on cloud, full-on perfect gaming has to be 5 years away. Because if you're struggling to get remote play working on an outside network smoothly and at a good resolution, that tells you, from what Sony is saying, that it's going to take them a little bit. It's going to take a few patches on the PS Portal to get it where it needs to be. And then after that, then they're going to start putting cloud in. I guarantee you, and I've said this, I said it first here a few weeks ago, about a month or two ago actually, they are going to take cloud gaming and they are going to put that shit on the PS Portal as another app that you can run. So you'll be able to do Portal or PS Cloud Gaming. You'll be able to do both.
I think, but the thing is that is definitely going to be a shift in what they do, because then that'll be the first time you don't need a PlayStation to play games.
Right.
And they're going to have to, that's the music that they're going to have to face. It's like, hey, unless they make that Portal like an entry console, like so it's part of the console family where it's like the Portal is like a $200 console that you could play on the cloud, and then you got your PlayStation, and then you got your PlayStation Elite.
Yep. Hello?
Sorry, it did it again because I said the word. But you have like this will be an entry into our console, because that will be, if they do that, then you won't need to do it. But like you were saying about streaming, though, talking about how Sony just came in with streaming again, I'm not this cloud stuff. It's a nice novelty to have. I don't want to primarily game that way, but I'll tell you that they got 4K 60 frame streaming with surround sound on the console. Microsoft with their cloud, you cannot do that yet. You're still at 1080p. Microsoft's history, just to kind of, and I'm sorry about all the Microsoft thing about it, but it's important, because when you listen to how they implemented stuff and didn't follow through, their history proves that they come up with something, they don't follow through with it, and somebody comes along and does it better. And we've seen it so many times in their history. Zune Music Pass, here comes Spotify, here comes everything. Zune was the first one to do subscription music over iTunes. Zune never saw the light of day. That lasted, and Spotify, Google Play, everybody, Rhapsody, all them they all came in and did it better, and Zune Music Game Pass was gone.
Wasn't
they all
Zune
leapfrogged them.
didn't Zune have the first device
Subscription
that you could
music.
download
Yeah.
But they had the first device that you could download MP3s to and plug up a headphone to, right?
Well, no, they basically made an iPod, but the first thing they did with Zune was
Right.
Zune Pass, which turned into Xbox Music Pass, or then where it was subscription music, and that was before Spotify, all the stuff. They came along and did it better. You look at what we were yelling at our Xbox. Xbox on. Xbox, take a picture of that. Xbox, record that. All voice stuff. Xbox, open a party. Xbox, open Netflix. Nobody wanted to talk to stuff. Google comes along. Alexa comes along. Boom. Look what happened. Where's Cortana? Oh, we got Cortana. Cortana, put it back in the cage. She don't come
God,
out
I
anymore.
hate that bitch.
But
hate that bitch.
the thing is that Microsoft came out with the Xbox One that actually had voice and had some sort of like voice that, why do you want to yell across the room? Now we do it. What's the weather? What's the traffic? Microsoft started that, never followed up with it, never advanced it, never put it where it needed to be, never supported it in the way, and never got the dev support, dropped it, pulled the whole snapping, all that other stuff off, gone, and all that voice talking, and now we do it all the time naturally. Now it's all about all this stuff. So they've done this so many times that you look at the streaming stuff, you talk a big game about streaming, now it's AI. Look what's going to happen. I'm telling you. So just look at Game Pass versus PlayStation Plus. Look at Game Pass lasted for so long. Now the only thing about Game Pass is games day one. Sony does games day one too, but look how their PlayStation, the middle one, the premium, that sucks on PlayStation right now.
Yeah, the premium is fucking mean.
Premium is ass. And that's why they're adding streaming to it, because they're trying to make it look better. They add some bullshit movies, some old-ass movies to it. But the premium, they have a whole legacy of goddamn video games that they could put in for PlayStation 1 and 2, and they're milking the hell out of that thing. And that's bull on their part. But they're extra.
This month was really good, but the last, other than the Twisted Metal month, there's been two good months in the last, 8.
The Twisted Metal was good, but the rest of it, it's like, what are you doing?
This month is good.
They got Rap with the Rapper 2. They got Grandia and Jet Moto.
This month is good because of Grandia, and only because of Grandia.
Shut the fuck up and give Jet Moto its respect.
Okay, so I didn't play Jet Moto back in the day.
I just got a gold trophy that bitch today.
I will download Jet Moto today.
But the way they talked about Game Pass, the way Game Pass was so essential,
Jet Moto's why I have a PlayStation.
Look at what PlayStation Plus Extra did at that price, and they still have a year discount where Xbox doesn't. Even though it's more money, they increase the price. It's still cheaper than what Xbox offers for a year because they don't have a yearly discount. But look how subscription gaming has now, Sony embraced it, and you could argue it could be a challenging value for Xbox if they don't have these big quarterly big games to differentiate themselves from a subscription like PlayStation does. And then you look at Nintendo with their subscription gaming and their old games and what they're able to put in there. Microsoft was the one to start.
Dude, I think Nintendo's is the best because it's only $20 a month and you get all these classic games.
Well, you don't get the N6, you don't get the other ones though. They don't.
No, I don't need it.
I'm just saying, it's amazing how they started it. They were the loudest about it, and now competition has come up, and they sometimes do it better and challenge it. And that's the problem that Microsoft has. It's in their history. This is what they do. They don't see it through. How do you go from hyping up cloud and now it's AI? And guess what? They're not going to win in AI. They could co-pilot their ass all they want. Co-pilot will be removed probably in 4 years, and they're going to buy some other company. But it's Google and all that. I'm telling you, Microsoft, this is what they do. They hype up. They want to be in the forefront. They want to have those keywords to be involved. Listen to us. Look at us. Look at us. But they don't follow through because they don't get the dev support that Apple and Google get. Apple and Google, they have developers that love them, and they would just make anything for them. Microsoft doesn't have that because of their history of just not being, I guess, of quality or really holding with their development teams, and just screwing them with their changes and stuff like that. So, I don't know. It's just in their history, though. So, you'll see this AI stuff, and, you'll see somebody come along and just do it better. and that's what Microsoft does.
So Microsoft reminds me, and here's what I was thinking. Microsoft reminds me of everybody has that one friend that they knew at one point. Probably not friends with them anymore, but they always have that get rich quick thing. Like they're the guys that always come around selling the little energy drinks out of the cases. Like, man, $3 a drink, man, it's the best thing on the market. Da 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 da. I'm gonna get rich. Or they sell, in the old times it was Tupperware, Avon, Amway. Like it's those people. We're gonna get rich doing this. All we have to do are these couple things. Just invest a ton of money in it, and then you'll make a shit ton. And what you look at is people within those companies. Let's take Amway, for example. My parents sold Amway when we were in California. And there were people above them who lived in fucking mansions. So it's possible. But you had to be dedicated. You had to have proper execution. You had to have a good funnel to send your product to starting out. People who you knew that were going to buy it. And you had to make sure that your orders were fulfilled, that you weren't late, that you weren't this and that. I remember my parents stressing out about that, and I was only 4 at the time. And I can still remember them stressing out about Amway boxes in the house that they had to get out. And, it's the problem with execution. Obviously, they didn't make millions of dollars doing it because they didn't execute it properly. And so Xbox is just like that. They're like, how can we make a... We'll spend $7.5 billion and we'll buy Bethesda. Really? Will that work? Hell yeah, it'll work. It didn't work. Well, what do we do next? Well, we'll spend $70 billion and we'll buy Activision. Yet to see if that one works. Probably won't work. We'll invest all this money in cloud. Did that work? Fuck no, it didn't work. Sony's going to beat us to it. Shit. Yeah, I know. It sucks. We can't execute anything. And so every good idea that they try to have that's going to get them money and get them... The biggest bullshit I saw, and we all called this, every single podcast I listened to called this, they are taking the numbers from... They are taking the revenue from the ABK merger and saying that, they're going to beat out Sony in the next few months because of it. All you did was
they
move
got 4
money.
times the overhead.
Right. And 30 times or 100 times the layoffs. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sony has laid off about 1,000 employees total. Anyways.
I can't believe, oh my god.
I'm gonna have 20,000 fucking devs now.
Dude, what happened to Single Track? My god, I just saw this boot up for Jet Moto. I was like, oh my god, I remember that thing.
They got merged in with Night, which became San Diego Studio.
And so...
Really?
Yep.
Dude, I had
Will,
this game, man.
Will, you've been super quiet since you got back. You got anything to add to this, man?
I completed the campaign today.
Well, first thing I want to say, and going back to everything that Microsoft does sucks ass, also including what happened this last weekend with OpenAI. Just to guys give you a quick synopsis of what, because this has been pissing me the fuck off, and this is gonna go. Look, I'm gonna go into a little fucking rant real quick because
I'm gonna mute myself and let you have your rant.
I just want to let you guys know, the listener right now, all 30 plus of you guys, your favorite YouTuber, your favorite social media guy in gaming, your favorite journalist, your favorite whatever, is not playing games like you think you are. First off, I want to say that first off. Now, I'm not saying because you play a couple hours a month, you're not a gamer. No, in my opinion, you absolutely are a gamer. I don't care if you only get a few hours a year. You're still a gamer in my eyes. What I don't like is people giving opinions on games that they've never even played, on products they never even touched, just because it goes against what their team goes for. And this goes for both sides. That's why I really love Jess's channel, and I love listening to his opinions, because he actually goes buys the shit, he tries the shit, he shows us the shit, and then he gives us his honest opinion. He's not only got the history on Xbox, he's also got the history on PlayStation. So I just want to get that out the way, because what's been happening this weekend with Microsoft and OpenAI. First off, OpenAI is its own company. Microsoft is invested in OpenAI by $13 billion. They're not the only ones. There's lots of other big companies that you know of that also have invested in OpenAI. What happened in OpenAI this weekend was a coup d'etat. A coup is basically an insurrection from within. So what happened is the CEO of OpenAI got set up by his partner, and the board voted to fire him. They fucked up because the majority of people working for OpenAI, and OpenAI is one of two major competitors in the AI industry. So they're huge. They are evaluated at over $85 billion. So instead of Microsoft writing that check for 85 billion, they put in 13 billion to have basically majority say, if quote unquote. But
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft didn't even know that this happened. So when the news came out that the CEO got fired, they were like, wait, what? They were in shock of what happened. So when they have $13 billion invested into something and they don't know what's even going on in that company, that lets you know how Microsoft rolls. Microsoft just expects that because we cough up the money, shit will get done by itself. Therefore, there is no need for strong leadership. And what makes it even worse
Worked for
is that
Windows.
but Windows, that's we get into that later. But the worst part about all this is that not only are they not having good leaders and good management, is that they're promoting from within these shitty fucking managers. You're talking that Booty who couldn't even do his fucking job, then is now
Booty.
gonna do
Hey,
it
you know he
now
was the last
for this new
CEO of
promotion.
Midway.
Yes, and look what happened in Midway.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was the last
So
because
what happened
they
with
weren't no more.
OpenAI? There was an insurrection from within. Essentially, a little bit of business background. This is going to take 30 seconds. Basically, in a company, when you have board members, most companies like to have between 9 and 11. It's usually an odd number for voting purposes. There's always one odd guy that can break the tie of a vote. OpenAI started out with 9. They were a nonprofit company, which became a profit company. That's when the money from Microsoft and everybody else came in. Over time, board members usually do on average a 3-year term or they become lifers. There's really is no in between. OpenAI started with 9. They dwindled down till they had about 6, including the CEO that got fired. Well, what happens when they're voting on who they're going to fire? The CEO, they have a process of basically he's not here, we can vote for him, and that's how they were able to get him out. That same weekend, over 700 employees in OpenAI sent a letter to the board signed by these 700 employees saying that if you do not get this guy back, we're all going to quit. Microsoft is rubbing their greedy little fingers because they're thinking, or they know, if the CEO doesn't go back, he's going to come work for us, and what's going to happen? 700 of their employees are going to come with him. So what happened on Monday? The board said, hey, we messed up, and the guy that actually started this whole thing put out a tweet that says something like, I regret my decision, or I regret my part in what I had to do with this, and people in the business world are thinking, you dickhead, you started this whole thing. But that's besides the point. He's back now, or they're thinking he's going to come back. But Microsoft was essentially going to get $85 billion worth of business for slightly under $13 billion. And the thing got so out of control over the weekend that major corporations were making job offers to these 700 employees that were going to quit. Even people like Joe Verdi, who is, or not Joe Verdi, but the guy who was in charge of Salesforce. A lot of people that are in retail know about this guy. Usually, your company will have his app on the computer, and you go in there for sales training. He made numerous job offers worth close to $1 billion just to recruit these people. And he said, "Hey, if you guys have an official resign from this company, we will pay out all your options. We will give you the money you were making plus some." So that's what happened with OpenAI over the weekend. Is there was a coup. Microsoft didn't even know what was going on, even though they had $13 billion invested into this damn fucking company. But that just goes to show you everything that Jess and Thrifty have been saying is that Microsoft think that by striking that check, they're gonna buy success. There's a lot of things you can buy in this world. Success is not one of them, especially in the gaming industry, because you have artists, you have engineers, you have a wide variety of different professions that make these video games come to life. It's not as simple as just we're gonna invest all this money and whatever comes out of it, we're gonna, reap the benefits. No, and now they're in a situation, and just to go back to what Jess said, they have all these great ideas, even though just give you facts, there's still gonna be some asshole in the background.
Microsoft, they're mostly out there just buying IP. Well, IP don't mean shit if you
Don't mean nothing because they gotta build it. Just give
Look
you
at
guys a lot
Gears
of
once
facts.
you handed that over to Microsoft. Oh boy.
There's gonna be some dickhead listening to this right now or tomorrow that's gonna say, "Oh, that's just his opinion." I'm a person of action. I like to see action. I don't care about empty promises. Look at Xbox action. Phil Spencer is still a CEO. Booty just got promoted. Sarah Bond is going to be taking over soon. We know this. This is all facts.
She's taking Xbox, which I thought was
That
really
sucks.
strange.
She's gonna take the fall because they're gonna close most of those studios once they launch their games.
Yep.
So they are accomplishing exactly what they set out to do, guys. They are playing you for a fiddle. They're trying to play this casual market thing with Game Pass and just giving you the lowest quality product they possibly can. Basically, lowest investment possible to get the biggest return. And so what if we only have 30, 40 million subscribers, if we're only putting out X amount of money per month? That's all free fucking money for them. They just do not care about the gamer. Where PlayStation and Nintendo, on the other hand, they know they have to come out with a great product in order to retain their gamers. But I just thought it was funny on how these Xbox on one side were talking about the firing of the CEO, and then PlayStation ponies on the other side talking about the firing of the CEO, all trying to make it fit within themselves when they know absolutely nothing about what the fuck happened this last weekend.
Yeah, and know what else was strange about that whole thing, too, is that Satya was like, well, we're going to hire him. He's going to have a place at there.
Yes.
And, like, flex to say, hey, if you don't want him, we're going to take him. And kind of scared them to kind of get him back.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was just incredible. People were thinking over the weekend how, like, he was going to work for Microsoft. They had a office firm and everything. And then he went back. And Satya was kind of like, just... It was a mess. But
and
like,
of course Satya would want that. He's getting $85 billion worth for $13 billion.
Exactly.
Of course he would fucking want that.
He would just get the guy that made it, but the guy went back to. But it's so funny. And Elon even tweeting at him and said, like, "Hey, that's how bad you didn't want to use Microsoft Teams. Like, you went back to OpenAI.
OpenAI.
He went back to him. He didn't want to use Teams. But like, the thing is that it's just it also shows how, just by owning such a big stake in the company, that Microsoft, without buying them, could flex and be like, well, guess what? We're going to take your CEO that you just fired, and he's going to take him, and we're going to take all your staff, and basically kill them from the inside out. Like, basically be like, well, they just took the skeleton crew of ChatGPT, and we're just going to put it in our stuff. Like, because
he strong-armed them, basically.
He did strong-arm them.
Yes.
He did strong-arm them. And the guy went back to ChatGPT, and now we got to see, like, what's there going to be there.
Yeah, if he leaves and they leave, they just have basically a dead battery.
And that's exactly what Satya was threatening them with.
And I don't mean to cut you guys off.
I
don't mean to cut you guys off real quick, but I mentioned earlier in the podcast, and just so you can see how all this shit ties together for all you fucking living in delusion land here, just so all this shit ties together. And earlier in the podcast, I talked about how in the Asian market, these developers, Square Enix, or maybe not Square Enix, but Nintendo, Sega, all these people, they're giving their employees a 15% increase on their salary, and their employees are not even asking for it. They're giving their employees stock options and benefits and rewarding them for their hard work. In the meantime, you have Microsoft doing the complete mirror opposite of these fucking people, and he's trying to strong arm somebody to a whole fucking completely different thing, trying to save themselves $70 billion.
Their Game Pass.
But they got to keep their fucking Game Pass.
Game
like
Pass.
How embarrassing!
They didn't get no cost of living raise, but they got to keep their Game Pass.
This is the shit that you guys are fucking endorsing? This is fucking sickening.
Know what I thought was so funny is that if Game Pass was so great, why are those people even complaining? They should be like, hey, it's a great service. I'll wind up paying for it. I don't mind.
Because they don't get no cost of living, and the cost of living's going up.
Dude, they're like, hell no, we're not paying. As soon as they took away Game Pass, they're like, hell no, I'm not paying for that shit. I'm like, that's not a really good, dude, that's not a really good marketing ploy for Game Pass. It should, if it's such a great value, all those employees should be like, hey, that was a great run, man.
It's because they're trained. They're trained not to spend money to play Xbox.
Enjoyed it. It was a great perk having it, but you know what? It's such a great value. I don't mind paying for it. And no, the employees were like, I'm not paying for that shit.
I think it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, bitch, I can't even get a 50-cent raise this year. And the goddamn groceries are going through the roof. I can't even get a fucking nickel.
Man.
And like just so,
and then you're going to take my Game Pass? My goddamn nephew's cousin's niece uses
If it was that great, they wouldn't have whined on Twitter that much and cried to Phil.
Dude, if it
If
was
Game
such a
Pass was that great.
if it was like Jeff said, if it was such a great fucking product, dude. When I was 18 years old, I worked
Exactly.
at a magazine company where they printed copies of like Maxim and Playboy and shit. Employees used to get a 60% discount on any magazine they wanted. Well, one day the company said, "Sorry, no more. You got to pay retail, but it is tax free." I still went there every Friday to pick up my Playboy copy at full price because I was like,
See?
shit, I don't
It
have
was
full
good
access to
value.
internet. It was good value for my fucking money. So I was like,
Good
instead of
value.
paying $1,
So, like-
I'll still pay the $10.
So all those people went to go complain to Phil saying we don't want to pay for this bullshit service. And it's like, dude, if it was that great, I don't think you would see that much crying. People would be like, oh,
But
you know, it
that's
was
the
nice. I
secret.
understand. I'm glad I have my job. You know what? I'll just eat the Game Pass. It's great. I play it all the time. Instead, they're like, Phil, they took it away from us. This is trash. I'm not paying for it.
That's the master manipulation that
crazy with
Xbox
those-
does. Because by doing shit like that, he keeps earning the so-called goodwill from
Oh,
people.
yeah. He looks
and
like
then
a
now he
hero.
looks like the hero.
He had no clue because guess what? He was on stage over. Of course, he's on stage.
They
And
have
we were
no-
talking about the Xbox tax, right? What?
Yeah.
Phil Spencer's winning awards, bitch. Like he's
Yes.
winning awards. What fucking awards he's winning? What game shows is he on that he's winning awards? He don't have to worry about Keeley's awards because Phil Spencer, he won the Greenhouse Award. He won the goddamn he won the Lifetime Achievement Award. Dude, where's the Xbox
What?
tax
Jess,
there? Phil Spencer.
remember,
he
they
won a
didn't-
Lifetime Achievement
Jess,
Award.
they didn't know. Phil didn't know about the Game Pass getting taken away. Salty
No,
didn't
because
know
he-
about OpenAI losing their CEO. Phil also didn't know about Redfall shitty's fucking quality. Like, how
He didn't know
much shit can
Hi-Fi
you not
Rush
fucking
existed.
know?
He
How
didn't know
much shit
Hi-Fi
can you not
Rush.
fucking know? Like, let's be real.
No,
if I
I'm
make
serious.
a
Why
fucking
can't
email at
you?
work, I'm getting written up. I'm getting a sit down. And this fucking guy's costing the company billions and nothing is being said. There's got to be something behind it, and it is exactly what they're doing. They're doing
He
what
has
they
no
want
clue.
to. No, it's all fucked, man.
Phil Spencer, he has no clue what's going on. Well, I don't know.
It's
I
embarrassing,
don't know what's
bro.
going on.
My 7-year-old son can walk into Microsoft tomorrow and run it better than these fucking assholes.
No, your 7-year-old son would walk into Microsoft and go, guys, all y'all's games look old.
Yeah, that's very true.
I say, Phil, where's Voodoo Vince?
That's very true.
All right. So,
No,
guys,
seriously though, there was a sit down with they were interviewing the what is it, the Japan studio that fucking they do Ghostwire and shit like that, the Hi-Fi. They're like, how come they didn't promote this? Why was it a shadow drop? And they're like, well, they just seen it 2 weeks ago for the first time. They hadn't been in the studio to see it at all.
So
That's
and
why
Phil
I
came
didn't
out.
get no.
and-
Everyone's like, why didn't they promote it? They didn't fucking know about it. They just know they had a project in the works. They didn't know what the hell it was. They didn't know how far along it was. They didn't know
Booty
shit.
was pouring. He was pouring the latte.
Exactly.
He looked over. He goes, "What's that on that
He
screen
went to
over
deliver
there?"
coffee, and he was like, "What do you mean
Yeah.
you got a game ready?"
He was
What?
grinding the beans, and he looked over the corner. He's like, "What's that?" They're like, "That's a new game." He goes, "Oh, hold on. Let me finish this latte. Let me go check it out."
Wait,
and Hero,
we
you're
make games
absolutely
here?
right.
He's like,
It's
"We make
more.
games here."
OpenAI potential market is more than 3. People are business insiders are saying that it could be close to 10. So essentially, if you stick in $1 billion, you're looking at getting back close to 10 to 12 billion. That is a huge. That's the scariest thing about out of all of this.
Well,
is
Satya
that-
bet the house on it. He's not messing
Yes.
with it. That's why
He's not
was-
messing. Yep.
No.
Yep.
You see the stock dropped for them for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
now it's shot back up. Like when he's
Yep.
like, "Oh no, I'm hiring them."
Well, the crazy thing about all that is the CEO doesn't even have any fucking stock. Like, there's no incentive for him. There's no stock option or nothing for this guy. So, like, I don't know what they're trying to play behind everything all because business-wise, nothing over there makes fucking sense at all. You have this coup that happened over the weekend. We're talking about a business that's worth over $100 billion right now. It's in its infancy. Like, there's some crazy shit going on, and this goes beyond gaming, but guys, pay attention, because this shit is crazy. And with Microsoft's greedy fucking non-ethical fucking lying asses involved in it, I would not trust them as far as I can fucking see them.
So with that, the Xbox tax is 100% made up bullshit, the biggest pill of copium I've ever seen, and it is just another in a long line of excuses that we get from the Xbox community to try and bolster themselves and make themselves look better and or play the victim. They do that because that's what their leader Phil Spencer does. He tries to bolster up the sales, the studios, and all that to make themselves look better, and ends up just turning it into a big steaming pile of caca. So this is where we're at. We are going to end the stream on a very positive note. We are going to, Jez, you missed this, so surprise.
Oh, damn.
We are going to talk a little bit, real briefly, about, it's Thanksgiving, and I know some of y'all in the chat don't have that. So, fun fact.
Turkey for me.
I'm
and
an
turkey
idiot.
For you.
Well, here's the deal.
Let's
I'm an
eat
idiot.
The turkey from a big brown
Because,
shoe.
shut up. So, I'm an idiot because I posted in our Discord asking a couple guys from Australia who are in it, like, hey, do y'all have some sort of like holiday equivalent? Like, like we have Thanksgiving here. Do y'all have like a day of thanks over there where y'all just like everybody gets together, talk about what you're thankful for, whatever? Being a stupid American thinking that everybody has that, and they don't. So I understand that some of y'all don't have this, but a tradition that we've always had in my house is on Thanksgiving, everybody says something that they're thankful for. Now, this is a gaming show, so it can definitely be in the gaming sector. If you want to take it deeper than that, you're more than welcome to. But Will, you being my co-host, I want you to start first. What you got, man? What are you thankful for this year?
Oh man, I can take 3 hours just on all the
Take
shit that
30
I'm thankful.
seconds.
But man, I'm thankful to just even be alive, guys. I know that it's not the easiest of times for everybody across the world. There's so many problems that we all have, even especially economical. I mean, we're seeing it every single day. Prices of food is going up, prices of energy. I mean, everything. So I know things can get tough, guys, but hey, we're still here to keep fighting. We can at least take a little bit of time to get on our games and enjoy the games that we have. It's been a great year for gaming. Hero, I told you Saturday morning we can link up and play Remnant 2. So thank you for giving me the chance to show you that it's a great game, man. So we'll see you then.
Me. There's 3.
Nelson, what are you thankful for,
Nelson
man?
can never think shit serious, dude. He should be
No.
thankful for getting that RoboCop. That game's badass.
I'm not
Oh, that is very good at RoboCop, yeah.
I like the freaking. I posted a video earlier. I was like, holy shit! I was trying to hide behind a wall. They started blowing down the fucking wall. I'm like, this wall ain't worth a shit. Shit's built like Xbox house.
So
No,
Nelson,
the wall caved in. And I was like, oh, I'm fucked.
what are you thankful for, man?
Jeez, Nelson.
Bro, you
Helldivers.
just started a
I'm
job.
excited for Helldivers.
You got
Now you're
like, come on.
breathing?
There's tons of stuff. You found a community of gamers that you're able to
Hey,
extend
I'm
out
thankful
to
for
play
my
with.
lead, dude. We talk about video games all goddamn day. Love it.
That's true.
He's my new friend. Yeah, we talk about games all the time. You
Hell
know what?
yeah.
You know what? He's like, man, I remember I used to like Xbox and tell that one guy, what the hell is that guy's name? I'm like, Phil Spencer. He's like, yeah, that fucking guy, Phil Spencer. I'm like, I love you. I love you. Like, we became friends like right after like day one.
Did y'all look at each other while playing one day and go, are we best friends? Are we
I
best
ain't
friends
been
now?
over to his house.
Oh. Jez, what you got, man?
Well, like going on with just saying, like, just thankful for, like, this, chatting with everybody online, like the friends you make online, just talking to people like this is great. Like, how games bring people to just talk about topics and just talk about games and things like that. And, I do have to say, one of the things that I was really gaming wise, like, thankful for is that it's incredible, even watching my kids play and the experiences that they're having with VR, with even like with these games. I know my son's all hyped up about Eminem coming into the thing, Fortnite and stuff like that. Like it's crazy, like how it's just seeing like all the varying types of games. And I encourage them to play all different types of games too, and just like the variety that's out there, that it could scratch any itch that you want. And this year has been incredible. Just with the variety of games, whether you want indies, whether you think this game is better on the go, this game is better on this game is good, and just also I think that the hardware that we've seen this year is really impressive. Thinking that it's not just the software, but like the VR. The portals, the ROG Ally, the Legion Go, like it's been wild with all the different types of technology, and it's thankful that things are getting back to what, like, I felt like we were in a holding pattern for the last couple of years.
Wouldn't you prefer makeup and appliances and chocolate and
Oh damn!
Lipstick.
That
And
stuff.
Rockstar
That's
Energy
not-
I
drinks.
think they're using their resources in a.
Jeez,
the wrong
oh my
manner.
God, somebody just sent me one. My phone just died. Somebody just sent me one. They did something. Yeah, what the hell else they did? They did a jewelry. There was like some jewelry or
Yeah.
something like
They
Oh
that.
did
yeah,
jewelry.
did you see that?
Yeah.
I recorded that. That was crazy,
I don't know what the
dude.
hell is going on.
Full
but,
on
yeah,
They had,
commercial
like,
for
the X
jewelry.
like the X
Ah.
necklaces and shit. Like what the fuck?
Dude,
Who
I
thought
don't
of
know.
that?
I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, thankful for everybody, and healthy, and just have fun gaming, and thanks to all the support too for Thrifty's channel, for our channel, Salty's channel, for everybody here, their Twitters and stuff. It's fun just having an audience and talking games and just having fun, drinking jokes, and calling out the facts when they need to be called out, because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. We have to be, and that's the main thing. My message to everybody is you're a consumer. Everybody's value of money is different, but my whole point is to be a smart consumer. Educate yourself, know what you like, know what you want, know what's valuable, try things out, see if you like them. If you don't like them, you don't like them. But always, and even when I was in sales, like in computers, like selling at Circuit City and stuff, I always was just when somebody comes in and spends so much money but didn't even know what they were buying, and I'm like, oh, you didn't go research this and stuff like that. Always do your research, look at what it's offering, and see if it finds value for you. But that's the major message. Just be a consumer, like a smart consumer. It's your money, you work hard for it, and nobody should take that away from you.
Absolutely.
Facts.
I'm actually on call tomorrow because they were looking for volunteers, and I said, well, last year y'all paid me double time to work on a holiday, and you gave me my holiday pay. So yeah, I'll go in, because that's a chance to make a hell of a lot of money, and I get Friday off
Yeah,
anyways.
when I worked at Federal, I worked every holiday when fucking ammo was busy, because I'd make $1,100 in a day.
Right. I can literally make, if I work 8 hours, it's like I work 16, but
I'd
it's
work
actually
12,
like I
I'd
work
do my holiday
24.
and double time. So
Because
crazy.
they still pay me my 8 hours, and then any hours that I'm clocked in tomorrow, I get paid double. So that's super, super nice. So I'm going to go a little bit more on the heartfelt side of it. So I wish Salty was here, because I had this whole thing planned, and it was supposed to be like a homage, kind of, not a homage, but paying homage. Yeah, paying homage to the guys that came before me. So I started my channel almost 2 years ago. January, I think 18th or 22nd will be 2 years on a channel. I started it out doing reviews on video games that I found on sale, things like that. At this time also, I was listening to a lot of MBG, a lot of Salty stuff.
Oh, God.
I was listening to, I
Cancel
would
that
catch
first
a
one.
bit
Oh,
of
God.
Porter Rock. I listened to a lot of Dreamcast Guy, Game Ranks, and then some of the
Jesus
bigger ones
Christ,
like
you have very mixed
AGS.
taste.
I do, and I pride myself on that, actually.
Some good and some
Um,
bad.
You
Let me tell
you
you.
gotta listen to everybody though.
Right, and that's what I do. I
You
like
gotta get
everybody's
perspectives.
takes, and especially if I feel like they're shooting straight most of the time.
Except like the bold-faced lies, those I can't.
Right.
waste
I
my
actually
time.
like
can't
listening
handle
to
that.
Xbox shows just to hear what the fucking rhetoric's going to be this week.
Here's the deal.
It's like a
I was
tip-off.
subscribed to the
So what's gonna
Lions
be online
Den
tomorrow?
until the Hold the Line bullshit came out. And then I dropped from the Lions Den. Because I liked the Lions Den. I thought that they were skewed, but so are PlayStation-centric channels. But anyways, so I start making my stuff. I get more active inside Salty's chat. He does an open mic. I hop on the next week. He extends the invite. And I'm like, dude, I really like the live stream format. I like the more intimate type of setting, though. This is the largest group that I've ever had on my show, which is 4. Because I like the smaller conversational settings. My preference is that. I really want to get into the live stream, and Salty was like, I was thinking he'd be like, nah, man, don't just hang out over here a little bit, not wanting me to pull viewers or try to leech off of them or whatever. And he was like, no, we're gonna use my show to help you get to where you need to go. And I was like, okay, cool. And that's also when I got introduced to Jez and Wooly and Church and Kofi. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. These are tons of gamers. Kofi and I are he's way better at it, but we're lockstep on JRPGs and things like that. and it just
Kofi's on another
exposed
level,
me
dude. Like, I
to
have a
this
minor in RPGs. He's got a fucking doctorate.
dude's genius. And so I start listening to Jez's channel before I was even on the panel for the Saltiest Gaming Podcast. And I hear Jez, and he's just one person, just one dude sitting there, like spitting all of these facts, reading from documents, reading letters, giving it to Sony, giving it to Xbox, pointing out all of this stuff. And I'm like, damn, I can do that. Like, I may not have the same flair that he does, but I can definitely give my commentary on articles that I'm reading on stuff like that. And so, right. And so
I thought I tried
it
to be less
really,
angry.
like, between
Yeah, but once
Salty
you start
giving me
talking
a
about something
shot,
that boils your blood, you can tell that blood pressure.
yeah, no
There's some
shit.
things, man.
Between
There's some
Salty
things that
that gave me a shot on his show, and Jez that kind of helped bolster my courage, that's where this show came from. Like that, so that's one of the things that I'm super thankful for in 2023 is that I even got connected with these guys. Like, guys, if you don't know, Salty has a channel. He's been under the weather and had some family stuff going on that has prevented him from being on. So we were supposed to be on, and then he got bronchitis for like 2 weeks. And then after that, he had family crap. And then tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So, like, it's just sucky timing. And that's honestly
He's been away from Twitter, too. He came back to actually just tweet out today. He hasn't been on Twitter either.
Yeah, he came back to try to help out, like, with the show. And, like, he was going to share it out and everything. And I haven't heard from him since. So I'm hoping he's okay. I'll probably get a message from him at, like, 5 in the morning saying, yeah, I'm alive. But anyways, super thankful for that. Y'all have been a huge influence. And then also this year, I found the perfect fit for a co-host. I found my frog, essentially, in Will, who has been absolutely fantastic. The community responded real well. It's actually him and a couple others who, it was actually him and Nelson who, like, asked me, like, hey, why don't you have a Discord? You should get a Discord. And I'm like, Nelson, I don't want a fucking Discord. That's one more thing I got to manage. It's like, no, you don't. Just set it up. It'll do the rest. And sure as hell enough, we have like 25 people in there now. We talk about gaming all day long. We share articles. Every single topic you heard tonight.
My phone goes off every 30 seconds at work.
Oh, you can turn that off too, man. Discord's crazy.
Yes, you can. I actually had to mute it for 8 hours for the show tonight because I was like, I don't need that shit going off while I'm trying to do a show. But like, I have so many things to be thankful for. And then, not only that, but the same community that inspired all this shit came together and got me Spider-Man 2, which I was totally fine waiting on. No big deal. If it comes down to my family or video games, it's always my family. Super easy. I have millions of hours of games in my backlog that I still need to beat. And so all I did was, as a courtesy to Salty, I was like, hey, I'm not going to get the game because of this. This situation happened. I'm not getting the game. And so when it comes time to talk about it, like, just skip over me. Because it was the week after the release, or I was worried about the show the week after the release. Because that's usually when we all give our first thoughts on the newest game that came out. And everybody knew that it was my third game of the year that I was getting. Well, wasn't going to be able to get it. So not only does Will set up and go, hey man, I found a way, I got an extra copy of it. My brother's wife, something or another, doesn't want it, and so they're just going to give it. Right, like, because they got like
and it was a surprise, and
yeah, they had bought one. It was a surprise, all this other stuff. So I got a copy from that, and then before I could tell the folks because it was kind of like a holding pattern type thing, like, hey, if this happens, cool. If it doesn't, cool. And then Nate surprises me with the fact that Jez, Salty, Kofi, and Nate all pitched in. Oh, and Nate's friend Morgan. By the way, go to my followers on, or my people who I follow on Twitter. Y'all need to follow Morgan. Girl knows what the hell she's talking about. I heard her on a podcast, Omar's podcast, recently.
Omar Shabib.
And she is freaking
Kayla's hilarious
knowledgeable.
too. She wasn't there that episode, but she's fucking.
She is
She's torn
lights
me up a
out.
couple times, dude. She's
But
funny.
they bought me the game also. Well, they bought the gift cards that bought me the game. And so I'm talking to a Nate, and he's doing all this stuff, and I'm like, bro, before you keep sending me gift cards, because he had it split up between a couple of them, I was like, before you keep sending me these codes, keep that, because I thought he was buying it for me. Then he explained to me what was going on, which was truly, I could not believe it. So because of this community, I got Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth pre-ordered, ready for pre-download. It's gonna happen. And so I have a ton of shit to be thankful for. With that, gaming-wise, guys, this year has been phenomenal. Next year is going to be amazing. I say has been because we already know we're getting Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Helldivers 2 in the first 2 quarters, along with like 2 others that I know I'm forgetting. And so we have a bright future ahead for next year and for this generation. Gamer of Light, let me get that Discord link. I got you, bro. And so that's what I'm really thankful for. I can't believe the way that, let's see, I joined in February or March. And so in like 7 months, the community has developed around me enough to where that's something that would just happen. Like, Nate never reached out to me. He never said, hey, man, would this be cool if I tried to do this? He just jumped on it and said, hey, you're one of the biggest PlayStation fans I know. You've been talking up Spider-Man since the first trailer. You need to play this. What's funny is Will told me the exact same thing almost. He goes, man, you're too big of a PlayStation fan to miss out on the biggest release of the year for PlayStation. And so, like, I am super thankful. And I guess it could have been surmised in one word, but I'm long-winded. I actually used to be a pastor, so forgive me. This is my last point, and then we can all go to sleep. But it's community. Community is what I'm most excited for. Because we are a community of 150 million players on the PlayStation brand. And the problem with that is that's a global number. So when we go to work, when we go to school, when we go to college, we don't really have a ton of gamers in our circles to speak with, to talk to get really excited with. So what do we do?
In our everyday life.
Right, in our everyday life. So what do?
Mm-hmm.
We go to Twitter and we get shit on for posting a screenshot of water having reflections of a fucking building and being able to look back and see the building and like just in awe of what we're playing. And you get shit on. So what do? Well, if you don't have a community, you just keep to yourself. You're an isolated gamer. And I used to be that. And that's not really that fun. It's way more fun to hop
I
on.
talk shit all day. I don't know.
You
I don't take Twitter seriously. It's
I
a
don't
mess
take
now,
exactly.
dude. Twitter's a goddamn mess right now with those blue
It's
check
bad.
marks.
I don't see him holding on to that for much longer, to be quite honest. But that's what I'm thankful for the most. This community
Who we
is
talking about?
insane.
Bootleg Jez?
Bootleg Jez. No, we're
not the
talking about
just the Twitter check marks and all
Elon
that.
Oh
Musk
yeah, you
holding
can
on
just
to
pay
Twitter.
for it, and you're like what? I get it the fuck out of you.
It's one of those things that before it was here, I kind of took it for granted how, Salty on his show would always talk about the guys, how he treats them as brothers, and how almost all of them have his direct contact where they can talk to him and all that stuff. And he really means that. Like, him and I had like a 30-minute conversation via WhatsApp yesterday, or a couple days ago, just checking on each other. Hey, man, how are you doing? And this community does that. I can't tell you how many times Will and I, or Nelson and I, have been playing a game and been like, yo, man, what's going on? Like, how's everything going with your kids? How are you doing with... You become...
Yeah, well, that's how I met Frogs. Like, I met Frogs through playing at Xbox with Kid Smooth and stuff. Like, and we were on that, and that's where I met him, and we've been talking. We've been friends now since that. So like 5-6 years.
Does
like
okay?
that.
So the only downside about the Spider-Man game is it gave him one more notch that they make redheads ugly in video games, and I don't appreciate that. Like,
Dude,
I
they
am
made
never.
him like, that
Frog
looked like
does
Peter
not like
Pan,
himself some
didn't he?
Aloy. He does not like Aloy.
I
I'll say
am
that.
not letting him live that down. That chat,
he
that
went off on
stream
that
was
thing.
Oh,
nuts.
Ayla will get it. I don't know.
Yo, he went off. That was so funny.
So, I'm
Dude, I
surprised he
put
didn't
that-
hate.
that armor where her belly is showing, and it's just like, you know, like the, I put that on, sexy her up
That's
a
what I
little
put
bit.
on.
I'm like, damn, you're hot,
Fix her
dude.
up a little bit.
Fucking
Give her that eye
firehead.
makeup.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's the same armor I used.
Yep. Hell yeah. I don't
right.
care if it's weaker. I just transmog that bitch and keep it
Exactly.
moving. She's sexy either way.
She's
Well,
walking
guys-
around in a crop top with like
Yep.
the armor specs of a freaking like armor.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
goddamn like full
It's-
ass armor.
It's that God of War armor where it's like 104, but it's just the
It's
little
like-
chest strap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Little
You went from
emblem.
having this full body dragon armor to a fucking metal on a fucking plate, you know what I mean? Like, yep, you good. 200.
Yeah,
you
we're
want
good.
trouble.
We're good. We're not here for believability. We're here for a video game. That's why we should have been able to land on gas giants. Anyways,
Oh.
Damn.
so
I've been through them like 10 times, but I'm not going to do it right now. But I'm
Don't
pretty
do
sure you
it.
fight on a gas giant
Don't
in
do
Mass
it.
Effect.
So, all right, let's go to our outros. Jez, where can folks find you?
Yeah.
That's a dumb question,
Well,
but go
you
ahead.
know, you can find me over on hit that like button here. Thrifty does an awesome show, and the guys over here. This is Will and everybody. This is a great. I listen to you guys all the time. I love that you do it through the PlayStation because then you can play while you're on the podcast, which
Yep.
is even cooler.
I do
So
that
definitely, yeah. Well, I can't. I got all my soundboard. I wish I could.
Yeah, you
but
got too much to do.
I got too
I
much
don't.
shit going on.
That's why I don't
I
want to
got
make
3
my own
streams
show.
going
People have
on.
been bugging me for 2 years, like, yo, when are you going to start the NGC
It's-
podcast? I'm like,
It's a time.
Probably
it's,
never.
It's some work. It's definitely some work. But yeah, the main thing, Thrifty, you're welcome in. You deserve it, and what you're doing here is great. And the main thing is just be you. Like, you don't have to come on and put on some sort of facade and be like, oh, I gotta spin it this way. No, if you don't like it,
Yep.
you just and I remember like that's where I had to do my own thing because like I was on a primary Xbox podcast and I was like. I don't like it, and I'm not gonna say like I like what's going on here with this transition and everything, and and then I was like I'll just do my own thing. So just be you and just be who you are, and respect people and treat people the way you want to be treated. That's why I don't do like the all these videos and all this other stuff on people because it's not us. We're not the problem. The problem are the corporations.
Mhm.
That's the people that try to sell us something. Those are the people that we should comment on because that's who it is. It's not the fans. The fans are going to be the fans, and that's the thing. Like that's how I always feel. I feel like that. It's the corporations that really, are the ones that need to earn our money and earn our respect, and prove their value. And that's what I always go by because as a consumer, that's how you are. You have the money because you have the power because you got the money. But anyway, you hit that like button here. This is awesome show. Thank you again for the invite, and I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And you can follow me over at the Gaming Grindhouse, Jez7780. The shows are on Monday nights, and I do the Grinds Bites. I'm trying to do little shorter videos because I know everybody knows.
yeah, you do them a lot on Fridays.
I've been doing it on Fridays too, but I want to try to get some more shorter videos out there, like
Yeah,
just
do it
quick
on
thoughts
Thursday when I got
things.
work. Yeah.
Oh damn, yeah, and just do some videos. But I love going live
Yeah,
because I love just chatting with people. But sometimes I might just do recorded ones and do premieres.
I
But
always
I'll see.
download it so I can just listen at work, but when your show comes on, I'm like, I can't like pocket this for tomorrow. I gotta fucking.
Well, and that's the thing that kind of sucks. Like, and I'll be
I
honest,
can't
if
help
I'm
it. It's
sitting
like that
here,
movie you've been waiting for.
if I'm sitting here at 40 people in the chat and not able to keep up with chat, like some of those 10 and 15 person like chat boxes that I used to have, those were super nice because I could keep up with everything and I could fully interact with the chat, and that was what
Guess too
you know,
much. Yeah.
right. And so like I think the smaller shows are like my thoughts with thrifties that I do. I love those, and I think I'm going to end up loving those even more as this channel keeps growing because eventually it's going to get to the point where I just can't. Because once we hit 500 subs, super chats start happening. Then you got to read those because if you don't read super chats, people will remind you that you didn't read their damn super chat. And I get it, but like Man, I don't understand. You have 200 to 300 people, sometimes more, in your chats. And I remember when I would get into your chat and there'd be 100 people in there, and only 10 of us, 20 of us were talking, and you were fully interacting with everybody. And now that there's 300, you and Frog just go, and y'all catch things randomly from chat.
That's what you got to do. It's like, it's hard to. You know what? I'm going to tell you something crazy. Is that I do go back and listen to the shows and read the live chat as it's happening too, to see what I missed and things like that. So I do go back and I especially certain parts and stuff, to see what the reactions are, because sometimes I just don't see it all the time. Because and especially because I'm trying to share like items, go through articles and things like that. But just like, like that's why I did the Grindsgiving, like just having people come on and just, Kyle was great on the show on Monday, man. I am getting back.
Dude,
on.
he really was. I was like, who is this guy? And I was like, oh, he's pretty good.
Man. Yo, he's coming back on. I'm gonna get him back on, man.
He's good.
I got a freaking Grindhouse weatherman coming on the show. It's awesome.
Nelson. What you got, man? Where can we find you?
Nelson Gaming 12 on Twitter and PlayStation. I don't even worry about Xbox. I'm never on there.
Bro, hey, what's your YouTube channel?
I don't know.
You have one, though. You said you
I
posted
know.
a video. Look, guys, if I can find his
Nelson
YouTube
Gaming
channel.
3661.
There you go.
You put in Nelson Gaming 12, it'll come up.
There you go.
Wait,
All
how
right.
does 12 come up, but it's 3661?
I have no idea. It does. There's not a lot of Nelson games out there. The picture of Double Dragon, you'll be able to find it.
That's
I
funny.
just post random clips. I barely post on there. I mostly post on Twitter, but I don't know. I might start doing that less because it's a lot more work now.
All right,
Yeah,
Will.
right. Oh, that sucks. I know.
That's a
sucks,
fucking pain in the ass. That's why I don't.
It
That's
is.
why I
Yeah.
kind of quit posting to my YouTube channel, was because I'll just make
But
a small clip and boom.
Yeah, now it's
on
easier to
YouTube,
post
you know?
to YouTube now, like from PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always posted to Twitter because it's like I make
I
small
know.
clips.
Elon
know.
got
My
fix
car or
that.
my
Elon
fucking
gotta
shot
fix
somebody in
that
the face
trash.
or something.
If
and-
they let me post shorts, because right now you can't. You have to post full videos, or it shows up as a full video.
Yeah.
If they let me start posting shorts from the PlayStation, holy shit. You realize how many shorts I will have. I will post every
They
fucking thing
should,
that I'm
man.
playing.
Oh my god.
Like-
I feel like some things are so slow to implement. Like, where is this stuff? Like, this can't be that difficult.
It really
I
can't.
just don't
like,
get it.
It just can't.
Yeah.
My
That's how I
phone.
feel about console covers and accessory with PlayStation. Like, where the fuck is my Horizon console cover? Where's my God of War console cover? Like, it
Right.
feels like it's so simple. Like, dude, just get a
You're
graphic
right.
designer and then get it sent to print. Like, how
You know what's
difficult
funny?
fucking
I
is
don't
it?
get it, man. I don't
I
get
post
it.
random gameplay on my YouTube, which
Even
isn't
the
very
controllers. Like,
Even the-
where
yeah,
are the
hell
freaking
yeah.
game controllers?
Yeah, dude, they're losing out. Cause I own like 12 controllers by now. I own the DualSense Edge. Like, I love it. And no, I'm not fucking an
Often.
Xbox
Sound like
guy.
an Xbox fan.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I
No,
also
but-
have hundreds of
Controllers and
games.
2 games.
No, but you're right. Like, this is for both of the companies. Like, I'm like, why are they not making
Yeah.
controllers based off of their franchises? Have a
I
Gears
don't
of
know.
War
They should
controller.
be having
have
one
a
every
God of War
game that comes
controller.
out. They should have
Yes!
a controller and
Yeah,
fucking
every game.
keep it on
Yes!
sale for like 6 months.
Exactly.
Dude,
I
and
don't
this is
need.
my
I
And
need
the
end of
Galaxy
companies,
income.
Blue
they're bitching
and
about they need to
friggin'
make more money.
Ash
You
Black
can make
and all
every
this
game
other
that you
shit.
make.
Yeah.
A
Sneaker
lot of
white.
people would buy the fucking plates for every goddamn game that came out. There's
I
120
know. I
bucks
don't
instead
get
of
it.
Stupid.
I don't get it. They came out with Silver Surfer and Galaxy Red and Blue Balls and all this other shit. I don't need all these different. Who needs blue, reds, and
No.
I would
silvers?
only pick
Come
one, but
out
I
with-
know guys out there that'll buy
God
like
of War.
6 of those.
Like they did Spider-Man. At least they did Spider-Man. But like
Like those
And the
games
God
are
of War
plates for
one.
every exclusive. They'll buy every one of them.
Yeah.
they should have
I'm
a
not
Final
gonna,
Fantasy
but
one
some-
coming out
some
next.
people
You know how a Sephiroth Cloud controller will sell? You got Sephiroth
Oh
on
my
one side and
God.
Yeah, I'm
Cloud
getting
on
one.
the other.
Oh my God,
Dude.
Jez. Don't say that. I will go rob a bank right now to be able to pay whatever that price is. I don't
Like,
care.
come on. That is just money in the bank.
So my buddy actually, who was last year, he was kind of one of the guys that I was most thankful for because he's actually one who persuaded me to start the channel. Like the channel from the beginning was a buddy of mine named Cyrus and another buddy of mine named Deuce's Back, and like those two guys got me to start my channel, and one of them was so fed up with PlayStation not giving us dark plates whenever it first came out that he went and sanded his down, and then
He didn't buy D-Brain?
No, because he didn't want the chopped off remodel that they had to do, the version 2.0 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And
oh,
so
yeah.
He dipped his in that like water dip, and then so it's all black with like that swirl texture on it from the water dipping, and now he can like he spray painted it, he made it all carboned out, like it looks freaking sick, but he had to ruin his plates to do that. And I don't necessarily want that. And him and I went back and forth. I was like, dude, it looks cool as shit, because he did his controller too. I was like, but you also had to sand your plates down in order to do that. And the plates have little PlayStation emblems all over it if you get in close enough, which I think is one of the coolest touches on it. Like, it's just a little thing that they didn't have to put that on there, but they did. And it's fun because they did. And so, like, anyways, Will, god dang, your outro, where can they find you?
So I got a secret that I'm going to confess to you guys.
I'm going to kick your ass. Where can they find you?
This has to do where they can find me. Relax.
Okay,
Nelson can spiel about his stuff. I can't do it. Jeez.
Hang up.
You can find me at Will777JP, which stands for Just Playing, on PlayStation, which honestly that's where you should find me, because that's where I'm at, where I do have free time, and on Twitter or X. But my secret is you can also find me on YouTube. I've had a channel for 3 years. I've never posted anything on there, but I'm actually thinking about posting some shorts with my little rants that I go through that Thrifty sometimes wants to cut me off. I might just post it there, quick little 1 minute things or whatever. I don't remember the name. It's something like Video Game Console Gamer. I'll work on that, but it's something like that. So if you see something like that with 0 followers, 0 polls, 0 bitches, 0 maiden list channel, that's me. But guys, come follow me. Please follow our Discord. I'm telling you guys, I've been talking to Hero. Josh, I want to just give a shout out to all these guys, man.
I don't know if we can promote that no more. It's hard enough to keep up with as it is.
No, man, it's cool. Just tag us. Put an @ symbol when you want to speak to somebody directly, and like that, me and Hero send up a date for Saturday right now. But follow us on there, please, guys. It's just a lot of fun in our everyday lives. Yeah, we have people that we talk about gaming, but they're super casual and they play Fortnite and Call of Duty. That's it, 2K. We like to taste everything. We like to play everything. So get with like-minded individuals and bring some ideas, some new games that I haven't heard of. Like, that's what I'm going to do with Hero Saturday. He's not confident in Remnant 2, even though he heard all these great things about it because of past experience with Souls games. So I'm like, dude, you can share play or screen play on my PS5 just so you can play it for 20 minutes so you can check it out. And, you know, that's what we're building over there. So that's where you can find me and Thrifty and Nelson. And please hit us up anytime, guys. Well, not anytime. Don't be anytime, because we got guys in Australia that's like 2 o'clock over there, but 3 in the morning over here. So any freaking time.
So here's the last thing I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. I talked to Salty yesterday, and one of the things that he said that he was not even prompted, that he was super happy for and super thankful for, was, and I have the screenshots of this, so I'm not making this bullshit up. This is not a clout chase. This is not trying to blow smoke up somebody's ass. He said he was super happy that my channel is growing and that Jez has been able to grow his channel as much as he has. It makes him happy because he's really, like, he's helped out a ton with that. At least on my end. I don't know about on Jez's end, but on my end, I know he's helped a shit ton with that.
Yeah.
That's how I found Jez's channel, through Salty.
Yeah.
And
so
me too. Yeah,
we're going to be on there. Yeah, it brought me to a larger audience, definitely.
And now my kids, instead of listening to like shit on like YouTube and stuff like that, they always quoting Jez and playing Jez songs. Shit,
I'm not cursing anymore.
Hey, the other day, no, it's cool. That's all I do. I was in the army.
Got to say, their dad is Nelson, right? So
yeah, right.
One of the other things I'm gonna
put it this way:
for the kids.
The first time I got my kids to sit and watch through a whole movie without moving, I let them watch Jason Goes to Hell. They didn't get up and piss. They didn't move. That's the first time they sat down and watched the whole movie.
They were terrified to move. You've scarred your children.
For me, for Parent of the Year. They're 4 and 6.
Oh,
6
damn.
and 8.
Jez is definitely adults only, but
that's it.
Anyways,
you're used to it.
guys, thank y'all so much. I hope y'all have a great day tomorrow. If you celebrate it, if you don't, I still hope you have a great day tomorrow. I hope that we can all get connected at some point and play a game together. I'm ready for Helldivers 2 to come out. That's going to be awesome. I'm going to have to go play Bulletstorm because Josh mentioned it in the chat, and I remembered how much stupid fun that game was. So I'm going to go play Bulletstorm 2 again.
There's a lot of sales, Black Friday sales.
Yes. Oh, speaking of,
I'm waiting to see if there's like some extra deep like Friday sales. Cause I
hang
own
on,
almost everything in there.
hang on. Do not buy unless you are a all digital console. Will, shout out to you for tagging me in these. Do not buy Diablo 4 or Remnant 2 digitally from PlayStation. You can get it on GameFly for $25 for each game. So listen.
And GameFly, guys, it's the best pre-owned games you can buy. They're in almost near mint quality. If a game comes with a code of some sort, like a skin or extra whatever, you get that unused in the case.
GameFly is still around?
Yes.
Oh,
now,
yeah,
that's why I don't understand people talking about
Game
Pass when it's like, dude, if you wanted to get games, you get
I had
GameFly because you can get games you actually want
for
like $5 more.
And they're great
on all
quality.
Your consoles. Yeah, you can get
perfect
good games.
quality actually.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, I found out that like the launch edition that comes with codes, all of that comes with the game. Whatever artwork, whatever book, whatever anything.
When you buy them,
Right. If you buy the Witcher 3 Complete Edition pre-owned from them, you're going to get the map, you're going to get the book, you're going to get everything, all the codes. None of it gets used.
It's not like GameStop where you get a PS3 case or PS2 case with the game, inside there with nothing, with just a generic.
You mean with the $70 tape that they put on there?
Yes,
$70
tape. Exactly.
$70. They're like, oh, hey, I got a new one for you, and they put that $70 friggin' sticker on there.
Hey, you earn 300 points, which is 3 cents, so that's.
I'm like, you go in the back and shrink. Now, I had a couple of GameStops. They actually had a shrink wrap machine in the back, and they would shrink wrap it again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, mine's not that good.
Dude, you don't understand how my stomach turns when they open up that drawer and they pull out one of those manila envelopes and they pull the game out of there and they're selling to me for new.
Dude,
I want to give them a friggin' drop kick.
I hate it. I returned that shit. As a matter of fact, I just stopped going to GameStop. They piss me. They just do not care about games.
I haven't been there in years, dude. I just quit.
Dude, it turned into a pop and stuffy store.
It's turned to a Microsoft store. That's what the hell it is.
Dude, you bring in like 8 games, they're like, I can give you 64-cent store credit. Like, god damn, I'll give it to the kid outside. Get the fuck out of here.
Guys, that's it for me. I wanted to hit you with that because I'm not going to have time to make a video. I'm on call tomorrow. We have family Thanksgiving and Christmas lights looking on Friday.
Oh, and damn, I'm going to put my lights up.
Yeah, we're freaking booked. So I'm not going to be able to get out the second video for the sales that I wanted. That video is sitting currently at #1. It's the fastest to 175 views ever. Thank y'all for that. And as always, guys, I know Byron. I know. Byron's my dude in the chat that's like, hey, man, it's time to go. You've been trying to close this thing for an hour now. I know.
Oh,
guys,
timekeeper.
As always,